U Sports on CBC, presented by Le Sport à Radio-Canada, une présentation du gouvernement du Canada, the Government of Canada. Nike, Fox 40, Theraburn Medical Supply, Les Bag Baron Rings, Par, and by BioSteel.
Welcome back to Windsor, inside the Toldo Lancer Centre at the University of Windsor's campus, home of the 2026 BioSteel U Sports Men's Volleyball National Championships taking place this weekend from the Rose City. Andrew Papadopoulos on the call, along with Tristan McGuire, who perhaps is a name that you'll recognize from the last broadcast if you just tuned in for the previous consolation semifinal, which just wrapped up. Laval taking the win over the Queen's Gales and finishing up the Gales tournament. Laval will play tomorrow at 1 p.m. and now they will await the result of this one, the Montréal Carabins versus the Western Mustangs out of London, Ontario. So this is going to be definitely something that there's some pride on the line here, Tristan, especially when you got the Western Mustangs, who are normally known to be a bit of the rival here around Windsor. Only a couple hours up the 401, not that far of a travel for their fans and school supporters. So Western here looking to bounce back after being kind of dealt a bad hand yesterday as the 8th seed, winning as OUA bronze medalist the right to be here for a consecutive Nationals appearance. They had to take on the number 1 seeded Trinity Western Spartans, and we know how that unfortunately went. Didn't go maybe according to what they would have hoped, a 3-0 sweep, and now they got to bounce back here 24 hours later. And of course the Carabins, they also suffer heartbreak in a different way, going the distance with the host Windsor Lancers last night, and a 3-2 reverse sweep for the blue and gold to take down the Carabins. So these are, I guess I'm saying, there's a bit of heartbreak from both sides for different reasons, and they must be eager to take to the court. What are your thoughts when you see the Carabins, the 5th seed versus the 8th seed here going into this tournament? What do you think?
I think you aptly termed it as pride on the line, especially between these two clubs. You mentioned, somewhat of a host team. You can consider them about 2 hours up the road, as well as, a team that traveled well with the Carabins fans as well as the Laval fans, both coming from Quebec and showing well for their team. You want to play another game of volleyball if you're either one of these teams, right? And I think that's what's on the line. Western, yesterday they got mopped. That's no other way to put it. Trinity Western came in hot, and they played their game, and it was too much for the Mustangs. But I think this is an opportunity if you're Western, maybe to get back to your game. Now Montreal, pretty vaunted themselves coming into this, but nevertheless, I want to see Western put up a good fight. I don't want to see anyone roll over and die. That first game earlier this afternoon in the consolation semifinal was a great matchup. Yeah, it was 3-1, and they were pretty convincing wins in the sets that were won by Laval. But I'll give credit. Queen's Gales, they didn't give up by any means. It's just one of those things where momentum plays a big part, and it definitely went the way of Laval, thanks to their setter who ended up getting the player of the game.
Absolutely, you said it, and pride will be the theme in this one, and we'll see after this break coming up here from Windsor if the Montreal Carabins or Western Mustangs will find their first win here in Windsor. So we'll take a short break here to get prepped before we see the first serve, and you are watching the 2026 BioSteel U Sports Men's Volleyball Championships here from Windsor, Ontario.
Le sport en direct sur icitout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ici tout.tv.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks. Just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Welcome back to Windsor, volleyball fans. You're watching the 2026 BioSteel U Sports Men's Volleyball National Championships here from Canada's southernmost city. Andrew Papadopoulos joined on the call with Tristan McGuire, and we will be coming up next to cover this Montreal versus Western Mustangs showdown. Consolation semifinal number 2 here on the day, and match number 2. Montreal Carabins starting lineup being announced right now. Quick note here, Tristan. Yesterday we saw number 17. That would be Simon Coulet, so a T, not an R. Outside hitter out of France, 20 kills. And still came up short in the 5-set throw earlier against the Windsor Lancers. And the guy with the blue hair there, Hugo Consigliere, you're not going to be able to miss him from any camera angle. He also had himself a big performance there. And once more, can't say enough good things about the Carabins' effort yesterday, going up 2-0 on the Lancers, and then just unfortunately that reverse sweep with the momentum of a home crowd does make a difference. On the other side here, Andrew Kirchhoff, the libero, working hard in the purple attire again today. He player of the match yesterday for them, and definitely a guy that does not mind getting his hands dirty. Number 1 in the OUA in digs, and also U Sports. He had over 230, so 233 was the count. Also, we know the Toronto transfers, Talsma and Ceylon are going to be a big role for them, so it's just going to be, again, a great head-to-head here, won't it?
I'm excited to see Ceylon play. He's pretty jacked.
Yeah,
he's a large individual, 6'7", and probably 230 pounds anyway. He's got a lot of muscle on his frame.
Yep.
Filled out well, and he's from Belgium.
He is, yes. There are some international talents here, and I made mention of that yesterday. Just, again, we talked about the French men there, Coulet, and then, of course, there's also the Tunisian import from Tunisia there, Zagarni. He's going to play with a lot of passion. So, I love that, Tristan, that we're bringing a lot of international flair and talent here to the U Sports scene now. Yep. You see those international guys really inject just a different level of energy when they come overseas to come play, and I love the passion. So Ceylon, Zagarni at the net. Oh, what a showdown. Both number 6 for their respective squads as we're about to get underway here in Windsor. Match number 2 here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. Happy to have you along for the ride as the first serve here by the Carabins is good. Played up outside. Michael Jones finding Jalen Talsma. Point Western Mustangs to hatch the goose egg here, Tristan.
Yeah, good pass. Perfect pass right into the hands and pushed outside beautifully. Talsma made no error. Right over the block there. Big swing for the former Smithville Christian Hurricane.
Yes, and if you know, in Ontario, OFSA Championship, he helped them go up there quite a bit in his time there, as we see Saint-Denis, Maxime Saint-Denis feeding Hugo Consigliere. You got to consider him a threat once again here, Tristan.
Yes, Consigliere, smart play there. Left-handed swinger, he goes off the block, knows Talsma's maybe not ready to press after the quick back set. Able to get the point there and tie it up.
And back to the line now will be number 13, Nathaniel Kiraga Hernandez. So I'm going to do my best there to have his name be executed all game here, as there's a nice run executed well by Kendall Homnick. And, Tristan, Homnick is one of those guys that you certainly don't want to see get a one-on-one, as he is one of those silent killers down the middle, and he's able to get one there. As, unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to see it again, but you'll see him do it again at some point here, as we see the next serve coming in from Talsma. Strong one to position 5, played up by the Carabins. They're going to go right side again for Consigliere. Nice dig there by the center, Michael Jones. Play goes on. Roll shot into the block. Swallowed up by Lucas Genier out of Ottawa here.
I don't know. Yeah, Cade Smith there, he doesn't have much options. Didn't see the blockers right on top of him. Tries the roll shot after the high set, and right on top of that ball. But a couple of big swings early from Considere. It's good to see the opposite position being used. This morning it was mainly middle that we were seeing, so we'll see how that transpires for the rest of the game.
Absolutely. Got to establish it early as Kirchhoff goes for a dive and says hello to the coaching staff. Good hustle there by, again, player of the game yesterday in the loss to the Trinity Western Spartans. Plays with a lot of heart there, Tristan.
Yeah. Well, I got to say, though, on that play, not much you could do. Like, the size clearly goes the way of the Carabins and the experience. They look like grown men.
Well, that's a grown man's strength serve there, as we see a lot of horsepower muscled by Hugo Consigliere. Once again, we talked a little bit about it yesterday, and I'm not sure if you were mentioning it in the previous broadcast, just the fact that in Quebec, the schooling system, you do have a little bit of a luxury to be able to play some years down the line. So some of these guys a little older, a little bit more matured physically perhaps, as that one is a mature ace, uncontested, right? Clip the line. What'd you think of that one?
That's, it's been sheer dominance to start this game. Maybe there was one hitting error to start it off for Montreal, but now it's been all Carabins since then.
And the Carabins hope to keep it going. And that is his third
service
ace.
Here if you're the coach.
Perhaps. And, we saw Hugo Consigliere yesterday get hot from the service line. He found a way to get it done when he needed to. Had a couple of service aces against the Lancers in the loss, and the first timeout used by longtime coach Jim Sage to try and share a message with them, and we'll share a couple messages as well when we can.
Yeah. CBC Sports is the home of university sports in Canada. The best U Sports women's volleyball teams head to Langley, BC for the 2026 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship, presented by Booster Juice, March 13th to 15th. Catch the action exclusively on CBC Gem, cbcsports.ca, and CBC Sports YouTube. U Sports on CBC, where champions are made.
Well, Tristan, for sure, there's a lot of great volleyball action going on here this weekend, of course, at Trinity Western's University's campus out there in Langley, as you allude to, and here in Windsor, we are seeing for sure. We're about midway through the tournament now, and just want to get some of your thoughts on perhaps, again, the first time this has happened in this city and under this roof. What do you think about the facility so far here, accommodating the nation's best?
I think it's absolutely terrific, and you're going to see wonderful fan support. Windsor Essex is a volleyball county, especially, mainly in Southern Ontario, you think of hockey, but no, volleyball is a close second in this area, especially men's volleyball compared to the U.S. where it's mainly female, so it's great for this market. And
you mentioned hockey. Windsor Lancers men's hockey team currently competing in the Queen's Cup against the Trois-Rivières Patriotes. I believe that's correct.
Yes, good pronunciation there, too.
Thank you. I'm working a little bit on my French here. Of course, often I'll say this weekend, very important with two teams from the RSQ. That timeout by longtime coach Jim Sage working to ice the server. So Consigliere missing, and Western with a chance to serve here. Homnick makes it. Outside it goes. Tipped by Coulet, and once again, he knows how to really get a stuffed souffle out there down the line when he needs to.
Maxime Saint-Denis, beautiful set to the outside there. Good fake out by the middle to the outside, and just a little tip down the line. Sometimes that's all you need, and it gives a 7-3 lead for the Carabins.
As Coulet makes that float serve. Here's a right side swing off some fingers. Great job by Coulet to keep it alive. C-ball set, dug up nicely by Talsma. Jones pushes it outside. Heavy blow. Libero getting a piece of it there, Saint-Denis. And they have to hustle to get it across. They do. Free ball sent over safely. Kirchhoff. Jones. That's right side. Cade Smith, great rally we're seeing here, Tristan, as it goes right back behind off the fingers.
Hitting error.
And perhaps maybe it didn't clip the fingers, so some fake news, and we'll get another look here at the net cam that'll catch the angle perfectly.
Yeah, just inside there, catches the tape, no touch. Good dig up on that play, though, by Considere. He's doing a great job in the back row for that team. Not something you see too often with opposites being that active in the back.
For sure. They're known to be kind of the designated hitter in today's game, as now he has to kind of save the day there. Breaks the bench up a bit. Free ball sent over by Alexandre Saint-Denis. Tipped over, and this is played up by the Carabins. They're going to go back to their left side. That swing is a attack error, so the Western Mustangs get a freebie there.
Yeah, I think I get what Guillaume Simpson, his mindset there is tight set to the line. They're blocking line, maybe try and swing high off the hands. Misses the mark, and the Mustangs earn the point, so it's 8-4.
And Calgary, Alberta native now at the line. Cade Smith going to go up for a rip. It's a strong one that just was enough to play it. Oh, one-hand backhand there to save it. That was pretty.
Wing.
Yeah, chicken wing. There we go. Getting us hungry as that one. The Mustangs remain hungry at the net. Good swing here. We'll get another look at it. What do you think of this one?
Well, you look here. Good swing down the line. That's the swing he would have wanted earlier. Able to find it there down the line. We'll see if the blockers are able to get a better read as this game goes on. But the Mustangs doing a good job offensively, but you gotta execute on something like that. That's something we saw a lot earlier this afternoon. Missed serves are critical, especially at this level. You think coaching high school, both of us, that's something you preach. You'd like to see a lot more guys maybe go to the float, whereas giving a free point away.
Surely, especially when you're down, right? You want to get it over and in and find a way to throw them off your game and trust your defense. As it is a high-risk, high-reward serving game now at the men's level, but we see a C ball here, good run,
man.
And it clips the line. So once again, you can't miss the guy with the blue hair, and you can't leave him alone.
Constant there, yeah. I think it's players like that. Speaking of the psychology aspect, all the flair he has, there's a reason he dyes his hair blue, and it plays into the style of player he is. He's been all over it to start this game.
He's definitely got aura, Tristan, as the kids say, at this point in time. As Montreal doubles up their lead here, 10-5. And they are able to get a nice block down Main Street, shutting down the Western Middle C-Lawn. That was a great rejection there by number 13, Hernandez.
Yeah, Hernandez able to read it well there. The problem with Western so far is they're kind of telegraphing their offense, which is leading to the Carabins blocking, just being ready. And another hitting area, I say go for the floater, but evidently it's not as better of a percentage as we see a miss there by Lucas Genier. Still go off.
Another misfire, and they're both stalemated here. Still early, not too bad, 2-1. Montreal leading that service error stat. As we'll see this serve pushed outside. Maxime de Saint-Denis finds a way to set his last side, but Ceylon finds a way to fire up his team on the block there. Look at this perfect penetration here, Tristan. Look at that. Think of beauty.
Wonderful block, but I got to give credit there. Saint-Denis, that's kind of the only option he had in transition. Nice high set to his hitter on the outside, but unfortunately the block was there.
The RSEQ reigning MVP, Saint-Denis. Maxime, of course, we're referring to. Alexandre is the libero, as they're able to side out quickly for, again, veterans like that are leading the charge to side out.
And good job by Guillaume Simpson. He's able to get outside there, give himself time on the approach, and he takes the inside swing, catches speeds at the hands, and it's a side out for the Carabins.
As we'll see the next server head back to the line here, number 11, the reigning MVP, Maxime Saint-Denis, Ottawa native, makes that serve.
Oh, man.
And look at that one. Isn't that as sweet as Belgian waffles?
Yeah, that's the tricep I was talking about earlier. Cedal absolutely wires one down the middle. Puts the pepper in it, and then he goes back to the service line. I love that choice from the setter. Set the man who's going back to the line now, gives him all kinds of confidence.
Another good look there by the setter, Michael Jones, an OUA third-team All-Star. Meantime, that one is clipped towards the Western bench, and Western here creeping back, Tristan. 3-point deficit now.
Yeah, it's a good serve. We're talking about the changeup coming off the hands of Ceylon. A big guy, you might expect a heavy spinner, but sometimes those little floaters are the ones that force a play, and we saw that there. The opposite left-handed swinger trying to come on the left side, it's difficult.
As another C-ball set there, rather front or right side that could have been, as the Carabins side out quickly, restoring a 4-point cushion.
Yeah, good job by them there to go back against the grain of play. The set was right into the hands. That's number 9 there, Guillaume Simpson. You started off the game well so far tonight, and once again, goes back to the service line, right? Set that man that he's got the next serve up.
Guillaume Sanson, a Val-d'Or, Quebec native. There's what you've been hitting the nail on the head with here. It's some big misses. Even though they're up, though, Tristan, it definitely drains the momentum, doesn't it?
Well, it's frustrating. Like, to me, that immediately resets the game. Like, almost in a way that it's demoralizing. You can have all this momentum, but if you miss a serve into the net, you're just exchanging the ball possession and chance to recover. Beautiful one-handed set there.
Absolutely. Mid-rally here. That's a safe pipe option play there to go there. Great dig by Ceylon. And back behind, that would be their point. I'm sorry, I gave credit to the wrong guy. Oliver Toombs putting in the work there defensively, and we'll see what the Western Mustangs can provide here with Jones heading back to serve next.
Yeah, we'll see what Jones can do for the line here. And this is what I like to see, you know, players not afraid to go for float serves anymore.
Absolutely, as they
Big
take
block.
a risk, and there's a risk taken there on that block. Good tool. Point for this Carabins squad. Again, they're remaining hungry.
Yeah, set was a little inside there.
Point Western, excuse me, as a timeout by Montreal is called. And they'll get to share the message that they need to say to their squad here, Tristan. And we'll try to find a message to share with you at home. You're watching it here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem.
Hey, fans. U Sports wants to hear from you about your viewing experience. Visit usportsfans.ca to join our fan advisory panel. Tell us yourself and help shape future U Sports Championship broadcasts by giving us your feedback for your chance to win a U Sports prize. Join the U Sports fan panel at usportsfans.ca. As the Carabins will come out of the timeout rather quickly. They know what they want to do here. Hopefully a quick side out for them and their team.
Yep, and you got the RSEQ Coach of the Year on that side of the court. Of course, we talked a little bit about him yesterday, Tristan, on the broadcast. Ghazi Guedera, RSEQ Coach of the Year. He was a longtime national team player in Tunisia, so certainly had a very good career as a player, able to share it with the next generation of athletes here, and even bring someone from his home country in Gaston Zagarny to Montreal. Play resumes as Jones makes the serve, and a big swing. There's that chicken wing. Maybe a little burnt that time.
Simon Coulet. Oh my gosh. Absolutely crushing it down the line. And I mean crushing it. That's one of those things where, you know, talent supersedes defensive capability. There's not much you can do to try and pass that. Like, what are you going to take it with your hands? No.
Well, it'll certainly leave a mark or sting them for a bit. So this will be now the Carabins' opportunity to keep growing their lead. Western back within 2, though, after a persistent effort here. Here we go down the middle. It's Kendall Homnick, and he's been a safe choice for them. And so far, Jones really establishing middle, Tristan.
Yeah, and that's something we saw earlier this afternoon. I commented on it with Scott Koski. He had mentioned, you know, middle is a safe option for at this OUA level. They know, you know, you got dynamic blockers who are moving constantly. If you think that you can move your middle blocker a little bit off from that middle position of the opposing team, chances are you'll score.
Absolutely. It's a big deal here at the U Sports level as we see Montreal play that out. Tipped in a good spot there by Talsma on the pipe. Played up here by the Western Mustangs. Good persistence.
It's a good choice.
And a solid choice to go to your right side. Cade Smith on the backdoor play, Tristan.
Yeah, that was beautiful against the grain. Smith was coming in too. He had the momentum. You think about just making the pass coming off the left side, unable to recover. Middle, maybe you're going to be a little bit late. I love the choice by the set there to go back to your right side.
Good way to mix things up. Ties things up at 14s here. First set, you're watching 2026 BioSteel Men's Volleyball Championships, and that was a hit of steel by Hugo Consider. And once again, Consider, I mean, you just got to, like, keep this guy on your radar. You cannot let him get hot, Tristan.
No, and beautiful set there from the 4 spot. The back set that as a C ball. Consider is dangerous.
Absolutely, as now we'll see Consider make that serve. Played up, Jones giving Talsma a 61 pipe there. And that's what you got to do, Tristan. Really establish different pipe zone lanes to find ways to create those blockers.
Yep.
One-on-one.
And good for Sampson there. You know, he's front row at that point, or sorry, he was back row at that point, but even still, recognizing the fact that even though I got 3 front row swingers, I still have an option to the back, and Talsma executed perfectly. The blocking a little bit late by the Carabins when it comes to the rear offense, as we see one of the ball boys there repping the 6'7". That was popular about 4 months ago. I don't know if I'll continue the trend.
Well, you know, Tristan, I mean, we're members of Gen Z, and I'm sure somebody would appreciate that that's watching here as, yes, there will be a point for the Mustangs who nabbed their first lead of this set in a while.
Look at that. And that's when you talk about the persistence earlier in the game and the pride that is on the line. Western's not throwing anything away. They don't, you know, Carabins, they're bigger, they're more highly touted coming to this, but nevertheless, we're here for a reason as well.
Absolutely. Again, Western earning the right to be here. This is their 2nd straight year of a Nationals berth and appearance, as they got to go to Brandon, Manitoba last year. And we'll see how they pan out here with this continued grittiness on this rally on full display. Here comes the other side. Considere gets the swing. Talsma out of system set outside to his left side counterpart. Toombs going to put that over. Good job by St. Denis to get it in there.
Ball.
Yep, very high ball. Got to give him some time, as we'll see now. Jones go for the quick and played down the middle. It's played up by the Carabins. Coulet rejected by Ceylon. So two international heavyweights going head to head. Touch there. Good hustle and a great rally, Tristan.
Yep. And smart play by Simon Coulet there, showing his veteran presence. He saw the opening down the line for the tip. If you're, the outside blocker there, number 5, Kate Smith, you got to push to the line. The hitter's going to be far on the outside. Don't give him that line, and he took it. So credit to Coulet.
Absolutely. A Coulet coming from one of the best volleyball countries in the world right now. Of course, France, back-to-back Olympic champions in 2020 and 2024, respectively, when it was in Paris, actually. And oh my, that was a thing of beauty when we see that slam down. Oliver Toombs, Toronto native.
Absolutely beautiful swing. He lined up the matchup one-on-one with the blocker. So that's a brilliant set to the outside by Jones, and an even better swing.
And the spin serve here. We'll see Smith make it happen as the bodies hit the floor again. And Ceylon with a nonchalant dig with one hand, played up here by the Montreal Carabins. Free ball sent over safely. Played up here for Jones to set it outside again. And Toombs unable to find the shaded court there, Tristan.
Yeah, Toombs, he's feeling it right now. He's swinging hard at everything. Credit for him there. That's a swing where if, okay, maybe the blocker's coming with me far to the line. Hopefully I could get a touch, but there he turned on it too much. So ball goes the way of the Carabins. They get a substitution.
Double substitution, actually. So our first one here, I believe, of the tournament, as we're going to see Etienne Charbonneau take to the line, Montreal native. He comes into the contest. And it appears to be a setter right side trade switch up, as they'll do that there. Also entering the game here, there's one up. Dig, nice job over on the other side. Free ball sent in. No, it wasn't a setter right side. The middle's in here now. Hernandez returns to the action. Tipped over. Played up by the Carabins. Good work by both sides to remain
good
on
defense
this one.
there by Talsma back row.
Absolutely, as there's another Talsma 61 pipe run. Coulet forced to be the setter on the out of system.
Look at him defensively. All over it.
All over it. Getting these digs where they matter, leading to Toombs to score cross court. That is a hard shot to make there, Tristan. Look at that. Nice slam.
I love the choice there by Jones to go to the outside. He sent 3 to the pipe. Talsma touching the ball 5 times on that play there. In the last one, the dig, able to put Jones, have the ball go to the outside, and a great swing.
And Western finds themselves ahead by 1 here with Oliver Toombs, the Toronto native, making the serve. Played up here outside. It goes down the line. That is the line shot that you hope for. And Guillaume Samson delivers.
Yeah, Guillaume Samson. What a swing. Nothing much else to say about that. You had the opportunity to swing line. Blockers lined up. They missed their assignment just a little bit inside and gave them too much room down that number 1 spot.
18 all as a spin serve incoming. It's going to be off the tape and over. Jones goes for the middle again. Ceylon forces the Montreal bench to have to evacuate. And they're able to make a change here themselves as Ceylon's going to check out. And it looks like the serve and defense specialist, number 18, Troy DeCuna, first-year player, coming in to serve and defend.
Yeah, I got to give credit to Western, though. Jones is using all of his options very wisely right now. And I think it's confusing the Carabins. Maybe the first 5 points of the game were, like I said, the offense is pretty telegraphed. He changed that up immediately.
Absolutely, as we're seeing a lot of different players now reaching 3 kills, 2 kills. So he's spreading a diverse offense here. Great work by him. And some great work by Alexandre St. Denis to hustle back and find Considere on the offside. And Tristan, again, your libero, it's the guy that plays with the heart and the hustle, able to make that happen to bring it back.
Get it to the net. And you know what? The blockers there, good job by Considere. You noticed that they weren't pressing just enough. Uses their elbow to drag it down the net. Easy side out for the Carabins.
As the sub was undone on the other side, Ceylon returns, but Kirchhoff will be the libero on defense here as he's welcomed back to the fold with the serve at him from Samson. Seaball working there, but also the Carabins working on the other side to counter it back over on a free ball. Jones going to go for another pipe option run. This time it's Toombs put that away, and the block not exactly pressing hard enough there, Tristan.
Good job by Western. Like, I giving them credit once more. The fact that they're not expected to be at this point. We had discussed before the game, you know, this could be a 3-0 sweep we see, but the pride, it's on the line, and now it's all of a sudden 3 hitters in the front row for Western, and they're in control.
Absolutely, and every team earning the right to be here, no question. Yeah. I mean, as we are now seeing a 20-20 tilt, a substitution coming up, so both squads in a fight for 5. It's going to be number 3 checking out, Charbonneau, and checking back into the contest, Lucas Genier, number 2, as we see now Nathaniel Kiraga Hernandez at the line here as he makes that serve. And we'll see Jones go for the middle again. Rejection by Genier, who's back into the contest. And outside this time around, it's dug up nicely there by the Carabins. Tipped over. Montreal remaining pesky here, and so are the Mustangs to their full credit, trying to go for another full swing. Great try there by the libero. Andrew Kirchhoff hit the floor, and oh my, Tristan, we're seeing some great rallies here, aren't we?
For sure. Off the block. Look at Kirchhoff, the effort to dive there. Maybe if that ball gets to the net and gets a bounce, maybe we see Talsma put it over and the rally lives, but no such luck, as now back with the lead is the Carabins.
And the Carabins finding a way to be in control, up by 1 still, looking to make it a 2-point gap. Another right side set, successful, and everybody's loving it, including Coach Guidera.
Yeah, well, not much more to say. Considera has been dominant. As an opposite hitter, you know, the first lefty swinger I've seen of the day, he's absolutely dominating, and he forces the timeout against the Mustangs here. That's what you want. Put the pressure on early in set number 1, and a bit of a comeback too. So you know you can pull yourself out of those holes on your dig early. Good job by the Montreal to build that momentum.
Yes, as we see now, 1 timeout remaining. The Carabins have one in their back pocket, and we have a message for you in the back pocket as well here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. As we continue our coverage here, you can take a look at some of the replays. This is going on here, the 2026 U Sports Men's Volleyball Championships presented by BioSteel between March 13th to 15th. We're already here on day 2 of an event that took over a year, near 2 years of planning, Tristan, to bring it here to the Rose City, and again, showing that we are worthy. Definitely, I feel we're not worthy of all these different plays that are being done, but again, you can watch that here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem, streaming live, and we appreciate everyone tuning in from your screen around the country and around the world. As Andrew Papadopoulos and Tristan McGuire share the mic. Hopefully you're enjoying the commentary here for this afternoon. We still got 2 more games on tap. This is game 2 of a loaded schedule, and the winner of this will play tomorrow. The loser will go home, as Jones will go outside, finding a nice swing for Smith on the offside, and Tristan, Western not wanting to go down 1-0 here.
Nope, and perfectly timed timeout if you're the coach, and that's what you want to come out of it. On the serve receive, you have the opportunity to score first, and they use it. Smith, as you mentioned, right side, playing on the left side in that rotation, puts the ball away.
As we now see one to go over, Coulet, and back for Considere to Tool off the block, and Tristan, that is his 6th kill, game leading.
It's just the fast offense. Like, you watch how fast Considere gets out there for those high balls. As being as tall as he is and how as fast as he can explode on that ball, there's not much opportunity for Western to even get out and put up a viable block.
Absolutely, as we see again, Considere, that's a little long, so a little bit too much muscle there for the Montreal man, as we now see the Western Mustangs take their mark at the line here. You talk about, again, those misfires at the wrong times for the service line, and I believe now that's going to add up to service error number 4 versus Western's 1.
And just on that play alone, it's the difference between set point to now you just put Western down by only 1. Right?
Absolutely, as Homnick did make his serve there, and we see the middle run nicely executed by Lucas Genier and the MVP, Maxime Saint-Denis.
Yeah. One-handed set into the middle. A little bit of an off-time play, but it still scores, right? We mentioned those high-percentage plays out of the middle. They're working.
Absolutely, as there's a serve made by Coulet. And the right side swing to be hit off of Coulet. Nice bring back there by Saint-Denis. Meantime, Kirchhoff goes for a bit of a tumble, able to get a good dig there. And a roll shot that trickles off the tape and out to force the first set in favor of the Carabins, so able to execute right away on that first set point there, Tristan, and we see Montreal taking a 1-0 lead on the Western Mustangs. As both teams will switch sides, and we'll take a moment here to catch our breath, and after this commercial break, we'll be back here from Windsor. You are watching the 2026 BioSteel U Sports Men's Volleyball Championships from Canada's southernmost city.
Electrolytes and zero sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks, just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Feel every hit, goal, and celebration as if you're standing right on the sideline, immersing you in the game like never before, bringing heart-pounding action directly to millions of fans. We deliver unparalleled simplicity and tailor-made digital broadcasting solutions crafted to make you feel every moment in a way like never before. Our passionate team ensures your message reaches audiences reliably every time. Proudly Canadian, we bring a touch of innovation and our passion to the world stage. ISI Live, be there.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Back to the University of Windsor campus here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. Andrew Papadopoulos and Tristan McGuire on the call for the second consolation semifinal match between the Montreal Carabins, who were the 5th-seeded team coming into the tournament, and the 8th-seeded Western Mustangs, OUA bronze medalists versus the RSEQ silver medalists here, doing battle in Windsor, Ontario at the 2026 BioSteel Men's Volleyball U Sports National Championships, taking place here for the first time in history of the 519 region. I mean, I'm curious to know if Western has hosted over the years. Perhaps that's something I'll have to look up later. But here in Windsor, anyways, we know the Mustangs have qualified for nationals before. Certainly London, a huge volleyball town, about 2 hours outside of Windsor, and they've traveled well. And the team is also familiar with this barn, and they've done a good job of sticking around with the Carabins. First set going in the favor of Montreal. Able to take that one 25-22. Right now, Hugo Considere is the big problem that they'll have to solve if they want to be able to tie it up here, as Considere finding himself 6 kills on 12 attempts for the attack. 3 service aces as well, Tristan, as we're back underway. Jones starts the party here, set number 2, and we'll see a nice dig by Kirchhoff. And outside for Toombs. Net violation committed by the Carabins. That's something we haven't seen yet.
No. And it's something you can see. All it takes is one player to get overeager. Oh, actually, interesting. On the way down, Considere, I think he just lost his balance, caught it with a bit of his chest at the bottom of the net. So 1-0 Western.
So just a bit of a faux pas there, but nonetheless, he'll go up for another swing. And this time, no faux pas on that block as Toombs and Homnick combine. Kendall Homnick again. Big guy down the middle for the Western Mustangs. 6'5" there, Tristan.
Yeah, and we see there he uses that size to his advantage, and he read the play well. I mentioned to you in between sets that just start feeding Considere, but evidently that's not going to work.
Coach Sage knows that we got to start shutting down the hot hand, surely. I'm sure that was a message shared in between sets as they come together on that one. What a run.
Wow. Absolutely leaned into here. Jaden Talisman coming out of the back row. firing it as hard as he can to that one spot on the court. Smart play to go around the blocker and puts his team in a 3-0 lead.
An awesome pipe run there, as we'll see Jones take a lot off it. Saint-Denis to consider, and a heavy blast off the body of Kirchhoff and out. I think a fan might have caught that ball there, Tristan.
Yeah, Kirchhoff felt that one, I'm sure. He's straight down the line in the firing range. But good for him for getting the touch. That shows, I'm in the right position. Maybe adjust where the hands are next time, and that could be a dig. Good for him to get a piece of that heavy swing by Consol there.
Definitely got the chest workout that he wasn't expecting today. Off the body, that's a nice run that perhaps the Carabins weren't expecting. A nice run down the middle to the deep 5-6 seam.
Yeah, compared to yesterday's play from Montreal, and this isn't to throw shade, they seem a little bit more lax to start this game. Western's come to play, and I don't know if Montreal was ready for that.
Yes, as the Mustangs, again, as we mentioned, they were here for the OUA semifinals, competing against the Windsor Lancers, who eventually became the silver medalists of the OUA. So again, they are used to this barn. They've played here for sure, and they know that this is a game they look forward to on their calendar, getting to play in this venue 2 hours down the road. As we see here in Montreal, they like this place too. They're getting comfortable, as you just alluded to, and we see Considere, a guy who's getting settled in quite nicely into the Ontario setting, making that serve there. As one set outside, off the block, replayed. Homnick forced to do an out-of-system ball. Outside, Talsma, one-hand desperation, gets a swing to go. Saint-Denis, Considere, high ball, out-of-system play. Coulet safely delivers, but it gets the setter out. But you know what? A 2-ball is a good idea there. As Talsma goes for a swing, there's another opportunity. Perhaps he goes for it, and we'll see the free ball sent over by the setter, Maxime Saint-Denis. Jones to the middle. That works. So we saw two ball pipe swings there, Tristan. Had to think that Talsma was going to go for a fake out on the second one, but what a risk. And then you see Homnick. That was a nice one, eh?
Big swing and great the play there from Western to be aggressive. Other teams, you might think that they would go for the easy play there or an out-of-system set to left side. No, swing on it. When in doubt, Talsma, he's showing his aggression early here.
Absolutely, as they tip that one over, taking Jones out of the play once again. So we'll see Toombs go for Talsma, and that will find the hands of Genier. So Montreal responding right away, Tristan.
Yeah, well, it's hard to swing through a ceiling, right? Just directly straight down there. Big block coming across to their right side and the left side of the court for the Mustangs, who I think they want to try and get that outside hitter, finding a way to get through that block as the game goes on.
Absolutely, as they get the middle going again, and that is Ceylon's, and Ceylon, once again, just a big problem when it's a one-on-one, Tristan.
Yeah, well, he's an absolute nail. Guy's giant, just absolutely crushed the ball on the right side of the court. Not much else to say. There's a mismatch no matter who's in the front row against him.
As we alluded to a little bit in between sets, we see that Montreal is a undersized team, quote unquote, but they have definitely been competing here against the height differential. And you see there just a big arm up in the air, and Cade Smith with the swing, 6'4" kinesiology major out of Calgary, Alberta, getting the kill.
Yeah, good for Smith.
He gets
moves east to go play for the Mustangs, and he's proven well for his team here so far at the championship.
As we see Cade Smith go back for what I like to call volleyball N1, gets the kill, then the serve, as now outside they'll give Considere the set again as he'll take a swing. Played up here by the Mustangs, and that goes into the hands of the block. Reset Kirchhoff forcing it outside for Talsma. Might have hit ahead there, and play goes on. Saint-Denis runs the pipe, and Kirchhoff forced on the other side to give it to the guy that dug it. And that's a rejection in the shaded court there, Tristan. So we saw Cade Smith all over the place, but a good rally nonetheless.
Yeah, well, when you have those out-of-system balls, the opposing team on defense is almost in full control, right? They can get their blockers there. They can get up in time, and we see there they squared off. They closed away the window, and Montreal gets the ball back, even though they trail by 3.
And next at the line is a native of the nation's capital, Ottawa native, who sends it in the direction of another nation, the USA, as the University of Windsor's campus, situated just next to the Canada-U.S. border, and that one went towards Detroit, Michigan, USA.
Didn't make it over the river, but almost. As we see Talsman go back to serve now, a big opportunity from the line for him, as he's helped his team to the 8-4 lead.
Here he is, Jaden Talsma, Grimsby, Ontario native from the Niagara region corridor, as there's a heavy swing from Consider, and again, no block.
Yeah.
That is a nightmare for the Mustangs defense, no doubt.
Yeah, we see the mismatch here. Left side went for it, jumped with the center, and the right side swing, which it's tough to not go for those when you know there's front row hands. You know, you got to go up, but yeah, you leave the right side wide open, and it cost the Mustangs.
And the playmaker that made that happen, a smart decision by Maxime Saint-Denis, the reigning RSEQ current MVP, making his serve there and making that play happen as we now see him get a dig. Not going to set that one. We see Alexandre Denis step in and leads to a kill for Consider. And again, here we go. Double-digit territory for him here, Tristan. 10 kills.
Yeah, and we're, only 14 points into set number 2. Like, this guy is the real deal. And for those watching, they are an undersized team. I thought he was taller. He's actually only 6'2", very small for an opposite in this day and age, but proving to be the best player in this game so far.
Well, height doesn't measure heart in these moments, and you see there a lot of heart by the middle. Nathaniel Quiraga Hernandez, the Montreal native, playing with some heart here for the hometown team. A first year, Tristan.
Yeah, Quiraga Hernandez, he's been into this game so far as a rookie. All of a sudden you go straight to the top your first year. There's no, you're straight into the fire. There's no breaking in period.
Especially when you're able to qualify for U Sports Nationals here to represent your school and province, as we see a big swing there delivered by the Mustangs, and they're starting to seem a little bit more confident with their offense here.
Yeah, well, I'll give credit. First set, they were trying a lot of things that weren't working, but now they are. It's all about how the way the ball falls on the other side of the net, and right now it's going the way of the Mustangs. Ceylon,
float serve, delivered by the Belgian import, as this one's going to go for a pipe attack, and we'll see the French import, Coulet. 20 kills last night, Tristan. He's been a little bit quieter here so far, with Hugo Consider getting all the love, it seems like, from us with the 10 kills, but Coulet has 5 of his own now, second among the Carabin offense.
I know the Carabin find themselves, there's just 1 point back. They already have the set in hand. They can control this game right now.
As we see a big serve delivered there, play goes on. Jones Seaball, Cade Smith, overpass here to the other libero. Kirchhoff, right place, right time, and a executed express delivery by Kendall Homnick.
Yeah, well,
ships that across.
You look at this play here as the blockers come up the middle. They weren't even there. They didn't shift. They didn't know where the offense is coming from, and that's credit to the setter, Michael Jones. He's keeping them guessing right now, and that's where this Mustangs offensive explosions come from.
Newmarket, Ontario native makes his serve there as this one goes down by Consider. And again, have we mentioned him yet? I feel like maybe we haven't enough.
Yeah, well, you could say how people are one-trick ponies, and right now it's been Consider, but nevertheless, it's working, right? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Absolutely, as that's the 11th kill for him on the contest so far, as this one will be delivered back behind, and Western looking to pony up a play here. Off the head. Good mid-rally here that's using your head, kid, as we keep playing here. And maybe perhaps a bit of a miscue there, but they're able to save it over the net. And it's just a gritty rally that ends with Kendall Homnick getting the last hit on that one, earning the kill. 4th in the OUA during the regular season here, Tristan, with a .341 hitting percentage for Kendall Homnick. He's been effective.
He's been fantastic out in the middle here tonight as well. Like, I don't know what it is, but for some reason the Carabins blocking out the middle has struggled to start this game, and Western's recognized that.
As now we'll see St. Denis go for the pipe ball run, and that does sail a little long in the direction of America, and you don't want to declare that hit at Customs.
No, certainly not, as he caught that ball at about shoulder height, mistimed it maybe just a little bit, or center miscommunication, but nevertheless, Western still with the ball back and now a 3-point lead.
As we see a spin here into the net that time, so a bit of a misfire opportunity, and you know what, maybe a buy one, get one free here for Montreal.
Yeah, we'll see what Montreal can do with the line, but so far I've been impressed by Western. They're playing their game the way they need to want to win this game, even though they're down 1 set right now. They're not backing down.
Yes, definitely longtime coach, Jim Sage. He's been at the helm for a long time. He's led them to U Sports Nationals appearances before, including last season. And roof on that block, Tristan. My, oh my, that was something.
Yeah, look at the press here. Sets just enough inside that the blockers know, I want to line this guy down. And Kendall Homnick, player of the game so far for this Western team, gets right on top and presses it on top of the Lancer logo.
They may consider your nomination in the Mikasa Player of the Game, perhaps. I mean, Kirchhoff earning it yesterday. So far, Homnick being solid. Michael Jones, an honorable mention as well. The setter, as that guy might continue to be their best candidate on the Montreal side. The guy with the blue hair. You can't miss him. Hugo Consider. 12th kill.
Yeah, Hugo Consider, like 12 kills. Only 3 hitting errors, a .429 hitting percentage to start this game, and something tells me he's not going to slow down.
Yep, Consider continuing to do what he needs to do here as the designated hitter. And down the middle, that's what you got to do when you're the setter. Maxime St. Denis mixing up the offense, going with his middle that time, electing to go with Genier. Very nice kill there.
Yeah, we could see last second, Talisman was focused to go to that right side, the left side of him, but couldn't get up on the middle block. It was a free swing.
As Coulet makes his serve, and that's a tight joust in the net. Free ball sent over by the Mustangs. Meantime, outside it goes, and a heavy blow to shut down that attempt to swipe it back. It's all tied up now, 13 all, and you see Coulet with a big smile heading back to the service line.
Yeah. And Guillaume Samson putting that ball away on the left side. We haven't heard much from him so far, but once again, the left side position, I think, is going to start to get used more and more as this game goes on. And you don't want to tire out Consider if you're looking at a 4th or 5th set, right?
Absolutely. As Cameron McGregor checks in for the Western Mustangs, swapping in for Jaden Talsma. And perhaps sometimes, Tristan, it's not a timeout that triggers a missed serve. It might just be a personnel change. So the switch up leads to a misfire into the net.
Well, yeah, you know, both of us being coaches, Andrew, a heavy part of volleyball is psychology. And anything that can change the rhythm of a game can have a butterfly effect.
Certainly so. Sports psychology is definitely a growing field, and we know that as we have to make some decisions each and every day, as do the athletes and coaches here, and the referees as well, as that's determined out of bounds. And the first time out, there's a decision made by the RSEQ Coach of the Year, Gazi Gudera, and the Montreal Carabins hit the pause button first. So Western Mustangs up 15-13 here. It's set number 2, first time out called. And we'll get an opportunity to hear some messages, as will the players.
CBC Sports is Canada's home for university sport. The best university swimmers in Canada are in Markham, Ontario at the 2026 U Sports Swimming Championship. Daily coverage begins at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time with heats, followed by medal races at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. The 2026 U Sports Swimming Championships exclusively on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, and CBC Sports YouTube. U Sports on CBC, where champions are made. CBC Sports is the home of university sports in Canada. Catch the best U Sports women's hockey teams as they face off in the 2026 Miller Waste Systems U Sports Women's Hockey Championships in Woolwich, Ontario. The action begins Thursday, March 19th on CBC Gem, CBCSports.ca, and CBC Sports YouTube. U Sports on CBC, where champions are made.
As we share the double message here, I'm sure there was a doubled up message in the huddle of the Montreal Carabins as they return to the floor here, eager to await the Mustangs, who were out there first. And we'll see the server being for the purple and white, number 5, Cade Smith, as he goes up for a rip here. And Western 10 away from tying things up. It's 1 set apiece, of course, after trailing in the first set. 1-0. There's a dump, and you love to see it when it can come out, Tristan. Michael Jones with a bag of tricks up his sleeve.
Yeah, Mike Jones, brilliant decision there. If your front row, use that, right, to your advantage. You know, as a center, Andrew, it's a big advantage to be up at the net tight there. Brilliant choice. He finds the open spot on the right side of the court on the Carabins side.
Definitely something that you could use in the job description. A little turn and burn there to score some points after setting up so many, as he'll go up now and try to set up another teammate. And there's Ceylon. That's the right choice there, Tristan. What a gorgeous shoot run there.
Yeah,
and down the middle, it's working for him down Main Street.
I don't understand the blocker enough from the Carabins. They're not going up. Maybe they're tired from that 5-set match. You know, would it be now 16 hours ago or so last evening against the Windsor Lancers home team. But yeah, just the blocking not on point to start this game.
That is a good point you make, my friend, as certainly not everybody as fresh as they were in game 1, perhaps, after the body goes through so much. throughout a long match, especially the Carabins had the longest with the Lancers last night, and we'll see, it looks to be a substitution made after that Western kill, so they're going to bring in number 4, a new face to today's contest. That would be Vincent Tremblay, Lorraine, Quebec native, and he'll go back to serve. So it looks like it actually went the way of the the Carabins. Thought maybe the Mustangs got that one. Apologies for that, as now we'll see Tremblay go up for a rip. Off the tape and in, played up here by McGregor, and we'll see Toombs deliver. Oliver Toombs on that one.
And he took all of the back row approach that he could. We'll see him fly in just behind that attack line, swings on it, back to the one spot. Beautiful play, and credit to the coaches on the Mustangs side. They know how to teach their players to hit that pipe. It's perfect every time.
Yeah, we certainly can appreciate it as coaches ourselves here in the local volleyball community in Windsor-Essex County, as once again we see some good decisions being made by both sides. Maybe the right one there on that tandem run. What a blast by Guillaume Samson. Once again, just Denis finding Samson, able to get that hand hot.
Yeah, you know, Samson, they're going to have to use him more as this game goes on. Constantiner can only play so much. Like I mentioned earlier, if this goes 4 or 5 games, you know, I think Western will pull away just over the fact that Constantiner is getting used so much. It's just not a viable option as you get further in the game.
As Toombs proves to be a viable option there on that kill. What a gorgeous run, and I agree with you. We need to see many players ready to go, as you can't just depend on one, as we see someone they may need to depend on here at the service line. Server defense specialist Luka Stojanovic checking in for his first appearance. Toronto, Ontario native who studies business at the Ivy School of Business at the University of Western Ontario's campus. Hoping to take care of business at the service line here, Tristan, as he goes up for a rip. And we saw Coach Sage use him yesterday as a serve and defense specialist. Part 1 of his job complete. There's some defense off the net by one of his teammates, but just not enough to get it up for the setter. So the sub is undone. Ceylon checks back in for Stojanovic.
I feel bad for Hominick. He's turning around fast, catches it on the way off, and that didn't quite get under it. But that's no fault of him. You know, he just got done blocking. He's got to get down and reset. I say to this day, I think middle is the hardest position to play for that reason.
Absolutely. I mean, there is certainly like an open debate for all the positions and a case to be made, as there's a case to be made that serve froze as number 9 for the Carabins, serving it to numero 9 on the Western Mustang side. Toombs service ace for him. Nice delivery and execution by Samson.
Yeah.
But middle for sure, as we see, especially when you talk about a turnaround that is less than 24 hours, they might be a little bit gassed and the knees might be feeling it, and mentally having to read those blockers and provide support, as it's in the job description. Middle blocker. There's a nice blow by Consider. And a C ball for Smith is played up by, and it had to get a one more set of hands and fingers on that one to go over, and it pays off for Montreal. Yep. So good reach by the middle there, but not over the plane. So that would be Hernandez, I believe. So let's get a look at it from the overhead view.
He had just enough on that to disrupt the defense of the Mustangs and force them to have an out-of-system swing. Goes to the left side, and it's an unforced error there. So now we see
Coach Jim Sage and the Western Mustangs will call a timeout here to try and slow things down. And, you know, Tristan, they're only up by 1. We see that the Carabins are chipping away at the Western lead here. And, again, Coach Sage, long time at the helm. Of course, we make mention of him. He played 4 years as an outside hitter back in his day for the Western Mustangs back in the 1980s, and has been a part of this program's development for many years. It says on the website last year, as of July 2025, 30th year of a head coach. He's in his 31st season at the helm here.
Wow.
Again, this is a guy that's seen generations of talent be fostered and developed and created a culture that competes, as we do see the Western Mustangs. Again, they are competitive notoriously anytime they make a youth sports national appearance, and it's a huge school, as we know, right? For just in general, a lot of people from our area. I'm sure everyone in Windsor and Essex County may know someone that traveled up the 401 to Western for whatever program they desire to study. And of course, Montreal, also a big school in Quebec. As we see them return to the court here, both sides. You're watching the action here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. Andrew Papadopoulos on the call with Tristan McGuire. Our pleasure to bring you the action this afternoon in consolation semifinal number 2 of the BioSteel Youth Sports Men's Volleyball Championships here in 2026. As you see there, that delivery will be in favor of the Mustangs as they crack the 20s first.
Yeah, it's another blocking there. We see when they're going up to press, they're either not pressing or they're not there at all. The Carabins, they need to work on that as they build into the third set upcoming.
And there is Considere, who again, Tristan, they're feeding the hot hand.
Yep.
And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. As a substitution will be triggered, that brings back number 2, Genier. Comes in for Tremblay. So again, they're just going for the guy here who's certainly been effective offensively here. 14 kills.
Yeah, and it's working. But again, the longevity is the question mark here. You have to remember, if you play another long game today, you still have tomorrow for the Consolation Championship. And you think about the sheer difference in points played between, because you think about TWE took care of Western very, very handily.
Absolutely.
So there's, maybe a 40-point differential between the two teams that they played yesterday, and that might take its toll as this game goes on.
Very apt point that you make there, as we see a nice swing, and this will bring back Hernandez into the contest. He comes in for Charbonneau on the Montreal side, but for sure it feels like, perhaps, with Western, even though they had a delayed start to their game last night because of the Carabins game going to 5, timeout called by the Carabins in the interim, that perhaps they had some gas in the tank that they were able to bring forth today in a refresh setting here. And we see now they hold a 2-point lead going into this timeout, and it will be the last time I think that we have one. There is one in the bank, though, however, so we'll see. As, again, we talk about coaching being a factor here, right? With the RSEQ Coach of the Year on the other side, Gazi Gadara.
Yeah.
Trying to find a way to spark the troops. Again, Montreal, a notorious contender at the national level. Their women's squad out in Langley, we alluded to the championships that are happening out west right now at Trinity Western. That school loves volleyball. Montreal and the province of Quebec as a whole is big on volleyball. Again, the full-time Volleyball Canada Training Center where the national teams train, that's in Gatineau. And you just love to see, again, that volleyball unites us all from coast to coast. As we get a look here on your screen, scan that QR code to give us some feedback of the U Sports Championships. As our fans, we are wanting to hear from you about your viewing experience. Visit the usportsfans.ca. Link there, QR code on screen, to join our fan advisory panel and tell us about your experience and how we can make the U Sports Championships for years to come better. The broadcast, that would be, especially, as it's our pleasure to be able to provide it. There's also U Sports prizes if you enter the contest, so be sure to do it. We want to hear your feedback, as the feedback on the court is delivered, and we see the Montreal Carabins go back to the line here.
Yeah, coach's point, right?
Absolutely, that works.
Gadara able to get his team to go back to the service line and bring themselves within 1 of tying this match here at 21.
And we'll see Considere make that serve. Jones, the Newmarket native, finding his right side. Smith, and Coach Sage gets one off the foot, courtesy of that block.
Smart play there by Jones. The back set, go against the grain of play, right? And force the blockers to be there just a second too late, off the hands and out of bounds. And Western regains their 2-point lead and inches within 3 of a set win in a tie game.
Absolutely. Looking for the stalemate here after we see a substitution here. The Oakville native Dacuna checking back in, as this is played up by Alexandre Saint-Denis. Maxime Saint-Denis to Hugo Considere, who once again, Considere has just been absolutely a monster on that right side of the court. Undoes that sub on the other side, but Tristan, we can't say enough about him.
I don't know, 15 kills. Like, I don't know how this guy isn't tired yet. That's total attacks, 26 times he's been the guy to take the swing on the ball. He's rocking almost a 500 swing percentage. That's crazy.
They're definitely setting his arm off here, as the guy who served, Coulet, makes his serve. He had 20 kills in last night's loss in 5 sets to the Lancers, who will play at 8 p.m. tonight against the Trinity Western.
No way.
As this is whistled as a net violation by the R2. Tristan, what'd you think of that?
Wow. If you're Western, sometimes the luck is just on your side, and right there, going too eager for the triple block. They kind of bang. They get the touch, and now it's 2 points from being a set win for the Mustangs.
It's a 2-point battle from here on out, as Smith looks to go.
Oh, that's
nothing but net. That's not good in this sport.
That's not what you want to do either. You're throwing up a changeup. I'll never understand, I've played at only up until the high school level. I haven't played at this level. But even still at the high school level, you should not be missing serves, especially a slowed up serve. Like, I get it, there's nerves. This is the best volleyball in the world, but it's a free point, and a free point should never be given. Well,
if you serve aggressively, right, that's something you could maybe live with, but into the tape, oh boy.
Into the tape with a float serve, that's the thing, right? It's,
yes,
but
absolutely.
They recover well here, a good swing, and they earn themselves.
Set point here as a substitution is undone on the Western side. They bring back Talsma to try and seal the deal and tie things up at 1 set apiece. Western Mustangs looking for their first set win, Tristan, and that would make this tournament mean that everybody has a set win if they're able to do it here, and we'll see here. Serve is good. Outside it goes, and it does trickle down as the block not quite pressed enough.
Yeah, the block, they kind of swung haphazardly across, as we'll see here. They didn't press, though. The block was mistimed as well, so easy swing to get through for Guillaume Samson. And now back to the line, Maxime Saint-Denis, 3 swingers in the front row for the Carabins.
First team All-Canadian as well, as we've mentioned his provincial stat, but certainly an accredited player, as there's some hustle by Consider. That is deep out of bounds.
That should not have been blown. That's a reserve.
I believe they're going to protest it here.
That's a reserve.
We're going to see here if the officials will confer.
He played it back on the opposite side of the plane of the net, so it's legal.
It looked to be one that should have been played on, but nonetheless,
I don't know why that's.
We find ourselves.
They award the point. Wow.
We find ourselves with the Western Mustangs point awarded, and again, it's a hard job the officials do, as once again, they work as hard as they can in these moments to try and bring it, and the Western Mustangs working hard to tie things up at 1 set apiece with the Montreal Carabins here at the 2026 BioSteel U Sports Men's Volleyball National Championships from the University of Windsor's campus, the Toldo Lancer Centre. We're tied at 1 set apiece. We'll be back after this commercial break here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem.
Here with me are 2 contestants for the Big Mac Box Stacking Challenge. We have
Nav
and
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks, just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Territoire du Nord-Ouest, le berceau du hockey. On y trouve une communauté riche en histoire et en tradition que Quaker voulait surprendre avec une toute nouvelle cantine déjeuner Quaker dans son aréna. En plus d'offrir notre avoine canadienne à grains entiers, la cantine est maintenant l'endroit pour se rassembler, manger et célébrer. Nous sommes fiers d'alimenter la passion du hockey dans son village d'origine, parce que peu importe d'où tu viens, t'es capable.
Le sport en direct sur ici-tout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est ici-tout.tv.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Welcome back to the CBC Sports and CBC Gem production here of the 2026 BioSteel U Sports Men's Volleyball Championships from Windsor, Ontario. Montreal versus Western. You're watching it here on the nation's broadcast presented by CBC Sports and CBC Gem. As mentioned, Andrew Papadopoulos and Tristan McGuire on the call for game number 2 on the day here. And set number 2 just wraps up with Western Mustangs perhaps in dramatic fashion, earning the last point that maybe Montreal didn't agree with entirely, but they'll live with it as they have to move on to the next set. All tied up here, one apiece here, Tristan. Stalemated, and again, every team now at this tournament has won a set. Makes things interesting as we go into set number 3. Any thoughts from you?
Yeah, no, and you know what, credit to Montreal for showing composure there at the end of that set, and just the same. Good teams, it doesn't matter if the calls go your way or they don't, right? You're going to push through that, and credit to Montreal, they handled it well. Probably better than I would have. And they move on to the court now, and they get a chance to, you know, you're back to, now it's best of 3, right?
You and I, passionate local coaches in our area, for sure. I know, you know, the whole thing is I always try to remind myself, you don't win or lose by 1 in volleyball. You don't want to spiral on 1 point, so it leads to something different. It gave momentum as Western able to get momentum first on that first kill. Point Mustangs.
Yeah, Oliver Toombs with a nice high set to him there. He has a bit of a choice there to go for the swing, and he opts for the tip. Just over him behind the blockers. Good choice by him.
Yes, as we see now at the line, Jones. Good serve there to position 1. Nice job by Maxime Saint-Denis to keep it alive, and that one will cause some havoc on the other side. The Western Mustangs free ball it over.
Talsma wanted to swing on that.
Absolutely. They went with a safe option, and Considere decides to take the risk and gets his team leading and game leading 16th kill.
We see the replay there. He comes from so far back.
He does.
Right near that far 1 spot on the court, runs all the way up and gets a full swing on it.
Generates that approach, finds a way to fly in. 19.5 points for him in this contest so far, as he's leading the charge for them. Here's Zagarny serving, so that's a notable change. We didn't see Zagarny in the first 2 sets, as that's a point for the Mustangs. Good play.
Yeah, once again, we see them using their offense to the fullest capabilities. All 3 swingers have been engaged here at the start of this game. I think that's how they're going to win this game. If it's a long, drawn-out, maybe 5 sets, we'll see.
As Toombs makes his serve, played up here by the Carabins. What a set from down low there to make it work. Considere unable to get the kill, but gets the attack. There's an attack by the Mustangs, and Talsma finds the shaded court there, Tristan. Nice cross-court cutting.
A piece of the line. Referee calls that one in, and it goes away to the Mustangs, who are pleased that, you know, they're starting to get some scoring from that left side position again, which has outclassed the offense of the Carabins so far, who have mainly just used right side in a couple of middle swings, a couple of left sides, but they're a good set, but a forced error.
A little bit of an exception to the rule. They try to go on the tandem run, and yeah, it trickles off the shoulder and head and shoulder play there.
Knees and toes.
Yep, exactly. If you know, you know. We all know. As we'll see Toombs go back to serve again. And another spin. Toronto native finding a nice spin drive there to position 5. Off some hands, Considere forced to replay it off the hands. Saint-Denis, high ball set back to the guy leading the charge. Pancake, but an overpass. So Kirchhoff is Chef Andrew Kirchhoff there, but unfortunately, that one there, you see Johnny on the spot.
Gets up and puts it in the open area on the court. Good awareness by him, too. He could have just as easily tried to tip it, but opens up the fist, puts it in the back part of the court. A little bit of a pickleball play.
It's definitely a growing sport as well, especially in our neck of the woods here, as we see Considere and good strong spin serve. Talsma give and go with Jones. Off the head, replayed. That's a fastball. Got to go over. Yep. Oh, trouble in paradise, says. What a nice job by the Western Mustangs. That's using your head.
Genier fooled him.
He did.
Didn't expect that ball to come over. But, yeah, he had to go over. Good play. Put it in the front row to the middle, evidently. Maybe we'll see they try and do that more as this game goes on. Yeah, Genier, unforced error there.
Dare I say it, a heads-up play by the Western Mustangs, Tristan, and leads to a bit of a miscue on the other side. Tough ball there for the Carabins as they try to come back at it again, and that's exactly the guy you got to set to do that.
Yeah, it's just, it's kind of a puzzling game. It's a tale of 2 games for the Carabins. Like, when they set the right side, they're scoring. He has yet to be, you know, completely rejected yet. But just the same, they're trying other things that aren't working and maybe confusing themselves rather than the Mustangs.
Oh, no confusion on that swing by Samson, and Kirchhoff in the right spot and is rewarded for it. So good work by Kirchhoff, the libero, to be in the right place. And we see an impassioned conversation on the fly there with Coach Gazi Gadara and the R2 official, and he's willing to live with it. But You talk about the torque in some of these swings here, Tristan, and just again, Kirchhoff, the guy that led the charge in digs, as he's doing a great work out there wearing the purple for the purple and white ponies. Outside it goes. There's a heavy blow by the Carabins, and it's a misfire in the direction of the Western bench. And that's an early timeout called here, Tristan. So 6-4 Western, pardon me, 7-3 Western as we update our Chiron. Apologies for that. And we see the BioSteel U Sports competition rolls on here, and we'll roll on with some more reads for you.
The 2026 BioSteel U Sports Men's Volleyball Championship continues all weekend at the University through March 15th. Tournament packages and single game tickets are on sale now. Visit usportstickets.ca to guarantee your seat today at the men's gold medal match tomorrow afternoon. Chase the glory.
Executed perfectly, and we definitely know that these Western Mustangs want to execute because they want to play tomorrow as well in the consolation final. Of course, that'll happen at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And the bronze medal game will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then a 6 p.m. gold medal match between the winners of the two games coming up here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem, which, again, Tristan and myself will have the pleasure of calling. Up next will be the UBC Thunderbirds and Manitoba Bisons. We are excited for that Can West semifinal rematch that perhaps UBC's been chomping at the bit to want to have. And you'll have the pleasure of calling that one with Scott Koski coming up at 6 p.m.
I'm excited for it.
And that'll be a lovely broadcast. Hopefully you'll tune in. And I'll be back on the call tonight for Trinity Western and Windsor Lancers. That's going to be an electric atmosphere, Tristan. Looking forward to being a part of it. As that missed serve happened in the meantime, and the Carabins will return to the line here with Genier at the line. As Lucas Genier, Ottawa, Ontario native, was first in the RSEQ, for his hitting percentage, and there's a nice kill in the meantime.
Mike Jones goes for the dump there. It's twice this game he's been able to do that. He's very smart in that front row when he's up there to use it to his advantage, and he knows the open spot in the front row of the court. Keeps his team in the lead.
Definitely a high IQ play here at 8 serving 4 in favor of the Mustangs, as this one's played outside and into the hands and out. Wow, Samson once again, Tristan, just finding the power.
Yeah, and now that left side's starting to get used more and more by the Carabins, and to their advantage, Samson swinging through the block. He's had no problem so far doing that. He gets a lot of tools, not too many swings straight down or anything of the sort, but he's smart.
And there's a serve that finds nothing but net to make it 9-5 in favor of the Western Mustangs. So another misfire, Tristan. We talk about the importance of making your serves, and this is the 6th service error, I believe, for Montreal in this game, and not a great time either, as we see now Ceylon trying to not hit his teammate in the back if he does have the opportunity to serve again, as that's a tough ball for them. What was harder, you think? Jones getting that in the back, or maybe him having to live with that?
I don't know. I don't want to imagine being in either position, but
yeah, that's a danged if you do, danged if you don't type situation, as we see. It's a bit of a blooper, and look at that, a buy one, get one free, and the serving woes continue for both sides, and oh boy, you just hope that the next one goes in here.
Yeah, for sure. You want to see a good rally, and good volleyball starts with a serve. Like, to me, it's the most important part of the game. It starts with the serve, and if you just give it away, what's the point of being back there in the first place?
As the serving hex is broken, and they find a way to get the point on a carry. That was a carry or a lift in brackets. Fun fact for you, as we see a little bit of passion here, actually, from the coach, Gadara, as he is really pleading his case, and the officials may have to just say, let's move along. But fun fact for you, Tristan, actually, in the Volleyball Canada rulebook, there's no such thing as a lift.
Interesting.
Yes, I was educated about that a few years ago, and then when I went to go read it, it's deemed a carry. So everyone that says lift, they're technically incorrect. Technical meaning it's pun intended, as we see the Carabins get the kill there. But I always like to say still it's like a lift in brackets. So that's for our officials watching.
Right.
A little bit of love for them. Hard job to do.
Good to know.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you can use that in your coaching repertoire. I know we'll see you back out there again, hopefully this fall for it, as we see Zagarny make his serve. Jones to the middle for Homnick. That's good. As we're all students of the game, and right there you see Homnick delivering once more. I mean, textbook play here, right?
Yeah, he follows the center straight down the middle, and it's just a blocking. It's been a severe mismatch. Genier in that front row against Homnick. Homnick's taking full advantage.
Absolutely, and we're seeing Homnick again, just finding a way to cut that ball in the right spots. As we see a good delivered spin executed there, and this one, nice dig to get that up for Jones. Middle again, that's replayed off the block. And Jones will go this time for a 61 pipe run. It was a bit ambitious, but the right idea to split the block there, Tristan, on the misfire.
Yeah, I love the set to the back. You know, it's a tough one to make going against the grain. We talked about it last game, me and Scott, but when you make that back set, you got to be committed and know my swinger's going to make this. Unfortunately, just a little too aggressive, gets on the top left side of the ball and puts it into the net.
As Hugo Considere makes that serve. And we see a tip by Smith.
Brilliant.
Nice one hand there by Alexandre Saint-Denis, the Ottawa, Ontario native libero. Well done. Gets an opportunity to set it here as Saint-Denis gives it to Saint-Denis, the libero, and rejected. Finally, Tristan, an answer to that issue they had by letting Hugo Considere get by.
Yep.
First stuff block there.
Brilliant. And I'm curious here, had that play gone on to be the kill, what is the ruling on a back row setter as a libero? With an overhand pass, I believe you cannot make an overhand pass as a libero on the second ball for the third ball being the attack, correct?
You can, as long as you're doing it behind the attack line.
Okay,
so,
he was in front there.
Well, if you start or if you get in front of it, it has to be above it's like the height of the plane.
Oh,
so,
okay.
They measure it that way, but generally speaking, a lot of liberos would not want to take it with hands in front of the attack line. But if 1 foot's behind or you leave from there, I'm pretty sure that would be legal.
Interesting.
Referees, sound off in the comments to check us. I'm a certified official, but a refresh is always appreciated, as this time around,
good swing.
Western refreshes their offense with that kill.
Kate Smith, swinging straight down the line. Can't go wrong there. As an opposite hitter, you know, right-handed down that right side. It's a hard shot to hit with straight down the line, but it works there. He gets past the blocker and targets the line that he wanted.
Cade Smith, the Calgary, Alberta native, 11 kills in the contest as that misfire goes in the direction of the the Montreal bench, as Western commits a service there. Up by 4 still, and now we'll see Lucas Genier back to serve. Third-year middle blocker out of Ottawa, Ontario. So quite a few Ottawa natives on this roster here, Tristan. So it's good to see them back in their home province. Of course, a lot of French speakers in that neck of the woods, as this is a gorgeous line shot delivered by Smith, his 12th kill.
Yeah, he's standing out for this club, and brilliantly. I love that right side down the line shot as a righty. I could never hit it, but he's able to.
You and I both, my friend.
Yeah. But smart play there, and he knows the blockers haven't been able to get out to block his line as of yet.
This has been a real right side head-to-head battle here. Smith with 12 kills leading the charge for Western as that one finds the mesh and is killed off. And then Hugo Considere with 18 kills. Timeout to be called by Montreal. And again, the designated hitters doing their job so far. And we'll do our job here to continue promoting the broadcast here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. Hopefully you're enjoying the 2026 BioSteel Men's Volleyball Championships here. U Sports, we'll hear about it from Tristan.
Fans, U Sports wants to hear from you about your viewing experience. Visit usportsfans.ca or click the QR code on the screen to join our fan advisory panel. Tell us about yourself and help shape future U Sports Championship broadcasts by giving us your feedback and for your chance to win U Sports prizes. Join the U Sports fan panel at usportsfans.ca.
Feedback is always appreciated, Tristan. And as I say, I'm a student of the game, I would say self-proclaimed. Even though I did play at the post-secondary level, I had that privilege to be able to do so for the Trent Excalibur and the OUA. They compete in U Sports. They haven't gotten to the national championship yet. It's still a very small, growing, developing program. But again, lots of strides taken over the years across all the leagues that have been a part of U Sports, and you love to see it and to play at that level. So having that opportunity to do so, I'm sure these players are excited to be here in Windsor this weekend, here on the biggest stage nationally.
Yeah.
And I just could not imagine, again, Western Mustangs again. Some of these guys were on the squad last year that got to go out to Brandon, Manitoba, and then of course the Montreal Carabins, perennial Quebec qualifiers, I would say, to be able to get there. So it's awesome volleyball here action, and we always want to learn more. That's the big thing about helping to grow the sport. So feedback always appreciated, and we've been giving a lot of feedback here to these servers as we get a look at that miss, but a good coach's point perhaps.
Yeah, just caught the ball wrong, didn't get it to float, put too much of a snap on it, and it rolls into the net there. Talsma frustrated with himself on that, but now it's going to be 3 swingers in the front row for the Carabins.
And we see Denis misfire.
Wow.
Friendly fire.
Yeah, some service error there from both sides. Definitely a lot more in this consolation semifinal than the prior one this afternoon. We'll see if that carries over in tomorrow's final for the consolation prize.
Luka Stojanovic is going to try and break the curse, as he's a serve and defend specialist for the Western Mustangs. Coach Jim Sage trusting him as he's back into the fold. Third-year player out of Toronto. Here he goes for a rip off the tape. Good read there by the libero. What a sprawling save by St. Denis, the setter, and it leads to that. What a tenacious effort there, Tristan.
Yeah, I would have just called help, but evidently not for him.
Maybe
he
I would have
dives all the way across, pops it straight up for a joust at the net, and goes in the favor of the Carabins as they take back to the line there. Number 9, Guillaume Samson. We'll see what he can put up from his service line.
Dare I say an MVP caliber play there, Tristan, as that serve perhaps isn't as valuable as it goes right into the net, and they are trailing now by a pile. Western up by 6 here. I love this confidence that the Mustangs are riding here. They certainly have gotten comfortable in a building that they're familiar with. And you see Jones a big part of that, making that serve there. Good one to position 1. But Considiere, again, continues to wreak havoc on that right side. He has a fast arm. That's his 19th kill. 1 shy of 20.
Coming there out of the right side. Just way too fast for the blockers. You could see, even if we get a replay later on in the game, they're still just leaving their feet and they're drifting into it.
Yeah.
Constant there, he's the speed kills.
That's an astute observation for sure. I think it has been a very fast tempo offense for them as they get it 1 there. That is Toombs once more, and we'll see a change being made on the Montreal Carabins side. They're going to bring back in Vincent Tremblay as he returns. Once again, a first-year player. He checks in for Samson. We'll see if this personnel change makes a difference here, Tristan, as we're going to see Toombs take his mark at the line. Western hoping to go up 2-1 here with an opportunity to perhaps compete tomorrow. As Considiere also wants to compete tomorrow. That is kill number 20, wow. Tristan. Chalk it up as 23.5 points for him, leading the charge. How can this guy not be considered for the McCassel player of the game?
Yeah, absolute freak of nature. Just the fact that being 6'2" as well, competing against a team with taller middle blockers, he's still scoring at this rate. Unbelievable.
As there's an overpass to an overkill. Genier puts a lid on it.
Yeah. Genier not going to make any error. This is his second overpass kill that he's able to get of the game. He actually had to take a 1 step off the net there. Good for him to adjust, because there's nothing more embarrassing than going up and have it go over your head.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Ditto. You know, that's why I don't play middle and rec anymore. As we see Considiere with a very nice serve, takes Kirchhoff off his feet. Good job by Kirchhoff to get behind it, and it leads to a gorgeous play.
Yeah,
Kendall Hominick.
Hominick, you know, he's been absolutely great up the middle for Western when they need him to be. And I think that's the beauty of the setting in this game that we see, is that, you know, they're not forcing anything. It's really simple sets to right side, middle, or outside for Western, and they're not forcing anything. If you start forcing a position 2, 3, 4, 5 times, it'll be a really readable offense, but no such.
Definitely agree. Very fluid offense being run by Michael Jones. Well done here so far for the Western Mustangs. As we saw Troy DeCuna get checked in, he made his serve, and a free ball sent over. Jones outside, Talisma rejected, so that's the end of DeCuna's opportunity to serve. and perhaps be on the court for Homnick as that sub's undone. But you take a look on the replay here. Just a nice, well-timed block that time. Good adjustment.
And it was all in the middle, too. The right side actually was able to get one hand up there. But, yeah, wonderful, brilliant setting.
Yes, absolutely. Both setters putting on a show here. In fact, as Coulet about to serve, we see the 33 assists for Maxime Saint-Denis for the Carabins and 38 for Michael Jones and the Western Mustangs. As this one will go in favor of the Mustangs, able to side out quickly on a carry.
Yeah, and they find themselves, within 4 points and taking that 2-1 lead in this 5-set match. I'm impressed by Western. They've come to play, and the Carabins, you could tell they're tired, they're worn from that game last night, and they're still trying to fight their way into this one and maybe get some energy going.
Yeah, absolutely agree with you. I think it's been a very respectable effort here by both sides, but the Mustangs certainly playing right now to their strength, but even you see some strength on that last kill. That would be Tremblay. That's his first kill, I believe, of this contest. And we'll see a sub incoming. It's going to be Charbonneau. Etienne Charbonneau returns to the action for Montreal. Hometown kid getting to play for his hometown school. I'm sure that's a special feeling for him to represent. Brilliant. Across the chest. I guess these are their jerseys that are Carabin on the front, the white. The liberos have Montreal as there's a serve incoming. It's on the back though. Meantime, the dig by Coulet outside, rather right side there for the guy that is just flying right now. Again, undersized, but my oh my, Tristan, he just knows how to time that ball, and you talk about his approach.
He's got to be getting up near 12 feet. Like, that is an absolutely high-flying ball for someone who's only 6'2", hitting well over 11 on his jump full step approach there, and that was a C ball. And he's still putting it almost on the 10-foot attack line.
Amazing. I think he'd take that 12-foot jump probably any day of the week from you, so I'm sure he'll appreciate that. He's got a guy supporting him here as there's a tip out of bounds, and it's just a bit of a misplay, but they tried to find some hands, and Western gets away with one. 3 shy of taking the third set here, Tristan. Sub undone on the Montreal side. Charbonneau checks out.
Yeah, and this is a massive opportunity now for Talisman from the line here. You can't be missing that floater into the top of the tape now.
Well, let's see here. We normally will glaze up a server and tell them that they're a good server. It looks like this time it works. Reverse psychology, we alluded to earlier. There's the C ball by the guy with the blue hair, Consider, and 22 kills, Tristan. He's outdone his teammate +2, Coulet, who had 20 last night, and just a remarkable effort by him tonight.
Yeah, we're 3 sets in. That's like absolutely incredible from Consider, like having the game of his life right now in the consolation semifinal and completely driving his offense. Only person with double digits on his team.
No better day to do it than consolation semifinal day when tomorrow's not guaranteed. So playing with a lot of heart here, and we see mid-rally, Coulet out of system set. Back to the guy we just alluded compliments to, and here's a C ball for Cade Smith, who's also had a respectable performance here. As there's a nice overpass, and into the block, one hand dig here outside, out of system ball. Good work by Andrew Kirchhoff. Meantime, this is a replayed opportunity. Toombs give and go with Jones, and that will work. They'll take it to go.
Beautiful. Good work by Jones on that rally. He had to move around a lot. Set was a little bit off the net from the pass, but perfect time to get a full swing on it and use the hands and tool it out of bounds. Now it's 23-19.
With the next server being Nicholas Ceylon, again a former Toronto Varsity Blue, playing there between 2021 to 2024. As this one dished to the middle, and that works for Gaston Zagarny.
Yeah, Hominick was there, but unable to press in time. It was a quick set to the middle, 31 transition set, and it worked. Good choice there on the far side by Saint-Denis.
Very nice run there, as we'll see Tremblay go to the service line here. Once again, high toss spin, makes it work. Kirchhoff getting behind it beautifully. Good work by the Western libero. Outside it goes for Toombs to adjust. Played up by Coulet. One hand, pancake, let's go. As it's tipped over, and we'll see another one here for Consider. Another one alive. Good work by both sides, hitting the ground, and defensive prowess on display.
This
Very
is brilliant.
Nice. As this is what you come for, whether you're watching through your screen or inside this building. Tristan, my oh my, check out this replay. Thing of beauty.
And lined him down. Great blocking there by the Carabins to finish that play off, and they've made it a game here, 23-21. as tight as it can get in set number 3, a pivotal set.
Poetry in motion, that's for sure, as we see Talboy just going to wipe up another shot spot. I mean, both teams were hitting the floor. You know, I'm sure the bodies are fine. They're getting a little bit tired here. And both sides going to try and put in the work to take a 2-1 lead going into the extra set. So we're guaranteed a 4th set here. And number 4, back to serve, Tremblay, with an opportunity to try and go back within 1. Makes the serve there. It's a strong one. Oh, a little joust at the net. But replayed here by the Mustangs. Persistence pays off. Saint-Denis to Saint-Denis. And a roll shot to work for Considere, and that fires up the Montreal bench. They've trimmed the deficit to 1. Coach Jim Sage will call a timeout.
Yeah, Kirchhoff dove just a little bit too much into the ball there, pushing it out. Really good effort from him, though. He's been great defensively. It's tough for the Mustangs, but I think this is a wise timeout. You know, you've got the ball, first chance to attack on it, and you're up by 1. Make it a set point, right?
Yep, absolutely. Good time to try and slow things down, and you want to maybe perhaps ice the server. We've seen that work here time and time again. Again, us both being coaches, we can appreciate that. I mean, it's definitely worth the risk involved, especially in the biggest stage here, the 2026 BioSteel U Sports Men's Volleyball National Championships. You see both sides here in their huddles. Montreal gathered up again, making the 10-hour trek down from Quebec, as they've certainly played with a lot of heart here, Tristan. You got to really respect the passion, the effort, and again, the RSEQ Coach of the Year, Gazi Gadara, doing a great job with his assistant coaches and team, no doubt to keep Montreal perennial contenders, pardon me. And you see the Western Mustangs again, like competing notoriously year after year in Ontario University Athletics.
Yeah.
Jim Sage, we can't say enough. He's grown the game in the Forest City, in the London volleyball community. London, so strong at volleyball, whether it be at the high school, secondary level, the club level. He's a big part of that, and you know, they certainly find a way to produce many great talents out of London year after year. And I'm sure they get to come here to U Sports, and they're excited to play as we're back underway. Both sides excited to go at it again. Western with a 1-point lead, trickles off the tape. Kirchhoff, and the back set rejected by Zagani.
Zagani having himself a game here in set 3, and second timeout called once again back-to-back by the Mustangs.
They had 2 in the bank. You might as well use them, so hit the pause button twice. As we're all tied up here at 23s now, it's going to be a fight for 2. Would have been interesting if Coach Sage would have pulled a back-to-back timeout. You know you're allowed to do that. Like, you could call your first timeout, and then you could call a second. Yours truly did that once in a game, and we did ice the server on the 2-minute delay. I mean, again, it's a game of psychology. But, again, one sequence in between, not a bad time, again, to call that pause. And, again, now we will see from here on out, only personnel changes available. They got to trust their team and their plan. And Tristan, it just doesn't get any better than this here. We're stalemated at 1 set apiece, 23 all here. Who's going to take the advantage to go into the 4th set? And dare I say, perhaps even if there's a way to get to a 5th set here.
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
You know, I think if you're Western right now, it's continue what you're doing. Keep it basic and utilize all 3 of your hitting options or all 4 of your hitting options that you have, right? And especially for them, you have the first chance with the ball. They did good last time. They got a good opportunity last time. Unfortunately, the block just read it too easily. The set against the green was not painfully obvious, but it was there. Zagani got on top of it. Maybe now you get a tight set that you hope one of your outside hitters can get on top of. Again, right now, just 2 hitters in the front row with Jones up front. So we'll see what the Mustangs can do.
And Jones, again, having himself quite the outing as the coach's timeout works. So, you know, again, back-to-back timeouts with 1 sequence of play. Very well timed timeout there to be called. Misfire long and out of bounds. Beautiful. Good selly from the bench, too, if you caught that. That was great.
Brilliant. And now Jones with the chance to win it for his club.
40 assists so far for Michael Jones. Makes the serve. Back behind. Considere rejected, Tristan. And that is the end of this set. Wow. Exclamation mark or what?
Oh, brilliant press. The both of them there. Beautiful close on the block. And now it's 2-1 Western.
Western Mustangs flip the script just like that, hoping to rewrite it as you are watching the 2026 BioSteel U Sports Men's Volleyball Championships here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. We'll be back after these messages here from Windsor, Ontario.
merchandise. McDonald's is again a proud sponsor of the U Sports Men's National Volleyball Championship here in Windsor. Give some love to the Hamburglar as well. Want some merch? Yeah. You look like you want some socks. There you go. Enjoy the rest of the game, everybody. Thank you.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks, just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Delaney, Northwest Territories, the birthplace of hockey. Here, you'll find a community full of history and tradition. A community that Quaker surprised by transforming their arena kitchen into a Quaker breakfast bar. Stocked with our Canadian whole grain oats, it's now a place to gather, to eat, and to celebrate. We're proud to feed the passion for hockey in the place where it all started. Because we believe, no matter where you're from, you've got this.
To Windsor volleyball fans inside the Toldo Lancer Centre. Andrew Papadopoulos and Tristan McGuire on the call for you here for consolation semifinal number 2. Just saw set 3 wrap up between the Western Mustangs taking a 2-1 edge on the Montreal Carabins. As the tale of the tape so far has been that Western has been running a very balanced offense with Michael Jones dishing out 40 assists, helping them be able to come back. They were trailing a set there, won the last 2 sets, and they got Cade Smith with 13 kills, Kendall Homnick 11 kills, Oliver Toombs with 10 kills. Very nice balanced offense. And you know, Tristan, it's just been remarkable to see this diverse offense being run. And you know, again, Hugo Considera on the other side for Montreal, not going away, helping his team. 23 kills on 43 attack attempts. And he's touching a crazy amount, 11.9 inches. You did some research in between sets.
I was curious because I know I had said near 12. I'm like, is that too much? Because he's getting so high. He's 6'2", maybe. So assuming he has long arms at 358 centimeters, that's what his personal stat line said. Maybe he adjusted it for the colleges, who knows? But still, that's a crazy high-flying touch.
Awesome, yep. So see, it takes one coach to see that potential and that talent. You were right there, my friend, calling it out as it was. As we see now, Kirchhoff back for Jones, dished behind, tipped over. Here comes Maxime Saint-Denis, feeding his middle, and that's a guy that you need to get going again, as we haven't talked a lot about Lucas Genier lately. He's got that first in the province effective hitting percentage, and for reasons like that on that shoot.
Well, there, again, the mismatch in the middle we were talking about earlier, he struggled with the blocking, but now offensively, yeah, if you wake him up in this set, you can get a lot to go in your favor.
Absolutely, as his middle counterpart, Zagarny, makes a serve, and the Western Mustangs make a play happen. Here's Considera. Wow, very ambitious backside opportunity on the out-of-system play. And there's an ambitious swing on the 2-ball by Talsma. Good job by the Carabins to stick with it. Tipped in a good spot. Kirchhoff, good read on that one to dig it up. And there's a swing to replayed off the block. And another one. That swing has no replay, as we'll take an instant replay on that, please. Kendall Homnick.
What a brilliant set right into the hands there on the 30 play. Oh, he put it away. That's one of those things where it's just like, it scratches an inch in the back of your head you never knew you needed it scratched.
Yeah, 100%. It's just one of those feel-good moments, no doubt, especially for middles out there. Ooh, not a good feel-good moment there for Toombs as he does sail it a little bit long in the direction of the 401, which is the highway where London came down from.
Yeah, Toombs goes for a bit of a hybrid play there. Ball keeps sailing. And we saw that earlier today, actually. This ball is well pumped, and it's floating pretty long.
Absolutely, those Macassa balls, and sorry, I apologize for the misspeak. Western came from, not London. They came from London, and so does Homnick swing there as the Surrey, BC native continues to find a way down the middle here.
Well, both their middles are large men. Like, you can see the musculature. Like, they clearly put in effort in the gym. It's not just something on the court. Good for them. It's showing here tonight. Their strength down the middle has been a strong suit for this Mustangs club.
Homnick looking for the strong serve there, able to throw them off a bit, but there's a couple of one-handers. Free ball sent over, a couple of badminton plays there. It felt like as an outside tip down the line. Good read by Jones, play some defense. Talisman with a nice save to keep it alive. Free ball sent over by Western. Down the other side, it's touched off the block and in off of Carabins. And Tristan, look at this. The Mustangs continue to just find a way at the net.
It's those tight plays at the net where, you know, intelligent players show themselves, and it's, how can I be smart about this? Do I go for a swing? Do I go for a little tip? He noticed the blocker was off there and used it to go off his elbow.
So. Absolutely, as we see a long shot out, and that will keep Homnick serving as the Western Mustangs are able to break open a 1-point lead here.
They look strong.
They seem confident.
And momentum is definitely on Western's side right now.
Absolutely. It's just, again, one of those things where they're familiar with this atmosphere, and they're just taking advantage of it. Love to see it for them. Back behind Seaball Consider, and you love to see that.
I feel for him, because, man, is he ever having the game of his life. It's just right now, you know, the offense is struggling to come from other areas for the Carabins, but, man, Hugo Consider, props to him. He is playing absolutely unbelievable. He's balling out right now. He's got 24 kills on the match. Just stellar.
Absolutely. Spectacular performance for him so far as he continues to swing away. And we'll see at the net, a couple of desperate save one-handers. Oh, and Kirchhoff gets a nice out-of-system set to run it for Talisman. He's on fire with that swing, Tristan, when he's able to get a rip.
Yeah, you know, the thing about Talisman is I actually played against him, and you'll notice he never really gets those crazy, you know, straight down attack kills, and yet he's still an effective player because he's a smart volleyball player. He finds the open plays on the court. He finds the tips of your fingers when you don't want him to, and that's how he's been a staple at the OUA level and now national level for this Western as well as former Toronto Varsity Blues team.
Absolutely. Definitely a standout player here at the U Sports Championships so far, and awesome to see, again, his continued growth and progress. I mean, one of those two Toronto Varsity Blues that decided to go to Western 2 hours down the 401 from Toronto to wrap up their careers, and they get the opportunity here in a national championship. Misfired serve in the meantime. Montreal heads back to the line to serve. You'll see Genier return to the line as the Carabins look to equalize things, trailing by 1 to Western here. Float serving coming. Montreal's got to appreciate probably not as loud behind them as yesterday was for them in the hometown Windsor Lancers 5-set thriller there. As we see a swing there off the block, and it's a good chase by the Mustangs, very close to one of our crew members.
Yeah, frustration there. I think a couple of the Mustangs want, I don't know what, Simone was not happy about something. Silon, rather.
Yes,
was, I think it was maybe, I don't know if it was just the hustle or what, but he certainly wants this team to push more, right? You can't back off the gas right now. You're up 2-1, and you're tied in this game, but they get the point back there.
And a 6-7 is on the board here, Tristan, so I'm sure our Gen Z crew and everybody that's watching knows what to do, you know. See a couple people throwing it up. I like to say it's starting to age out a little bit. There's going to be something new by next U Sports National Championship. Some positive trends come and go. And Talisman there with a good serve as that's into the block. One hand up by St. Denis. Keeps it alive with the other St. Denis, and they find a way to put it over as now we see Jones going outside here. Heavy rip by the Western Mustangs. Toombs, and once again, this is Oliver Toombs' 11th kill as he's trying to get to 13 like two of his other teammates, it seems.
Man, I'm giving credit. Him and Talisman on the outside, like their left sides, like I said, intelligence is the key. They are playing so well out of that position, and they're not forcing anything. You know, it's just these smart plays off the hands. That's how you score at the national level.
Great natural volleyball IQ on full display here. Here's Jones again. Heavy swing to the block, and again,
that time he wasn't getting over.
Zagarny got over there.
Yeah, Zagarny, he's, you know, one of the better middle blockers in this game. He presses so well. He's timing everything perfectly. No error there, and unfortunately for Toombs, that's not one you can just roll off the fingers.
And again, as mentioned, Ghassan Zagarny, one of two international players competing on this Montreal Carabins roster from Tunisia. What a one-hand up there by Talisman, and says, no problem, we'll get to the next one.
Yep. And that's, you know what, that's part of being a great teammate. Credit to Talisman there. I know so many guys who I played with who could have crashed out of their fact Silon, quick reaction play, it goes out the back. Nevertheless, that's not how you're going to win the game. Over 1 point, right? You reset and you play the next one. So good for him to show that character.
Definitely a mental game and a team sport. You love to see it, as now we'll see Jones running a pipe ball run that Talisman thinks is in.
And he's right.
And he's absolutely right. And that's why we got 4 lines, people on the corners, Tristan.
Yeah, that was great swing. And they love, like I said, the Mustangs, smart volleyball. They swing to that one position because they know it's open on defense. Good for them.
Certainly so, as Ceylon gets that one to sail a little long. St. Denis, the setter has to go on his back, sprawling. Great try there on a diving play.
Yeah, good for Tremblay. You know, I'd rather, if I'm the coach right now at the Carabins, you want to try and swing to regain those points. Tremblay forced a little bit of a tight hit off the net there, but he went for it. I'll give him credit.
Ceylon with a misfire there, just a little bit long. So Western unable to get further than 2 points right now. Tristan looking to try and break open a gap here.
As tight as it can be, right? And it's those missed serves, they stack up. I played in a tournament once where, you know, we lost the game by 4 points, but we missed 9 serves, and like that's what matters at the end of the day.
Certainly so, as the C ball here matters for the Mustangs, as you see Kate Smith once again, why he's leading the charge right now, the right side. What a up there by Kirchhoff. We gotta give some love.
Man, and you know what's absolutely brilliant is he's not being overused. And I'm not by any means saying Considero is being overused, but it's just Jones appreciates the fact of the time and place of when to use that right side in Smith.
Certainly so. He's got Smith with 13 kills, Homnick 13 kills down the middle, and Toombs with 11 of his own. So just a really well-balanced offense right now being run by Michael Jones, who has 45 assists thus far. And you see Montreal finds a way to side out there.
Yeah. Montreal, they're staying right in it, right? And it's, you know, they're 1 point off of being in a tie in this set, and they're one set away from being tied in the game. And then, you know,
they'll play the most sets of the tournament.
The fifth sets, they're not fun.
Right?
Well, they can be fun, but the nerves involved, you know.
Homnick with that kill. But absolutely the nerves, right? But the fact that they played 5 sets yesterday, you got to think maybe that they'll be the team that's only played 10 sets.
Right.
Potentially. Again, these are hypothetical scenarios. Western hoping to stave off that possibility. But yeah, it'll be a lot on the body. But missed serves like that perhaps could make it a greater possibility, Tristan.
Missed serves for Western. Their coaching staff, they're probably pretty seething right now. And the fact that, you know, you talked about that chance to break open the game. You're up by 2. Why are we missing serves that are, you know, maybe even under aggressive?
Well, there's an aggressive swing there from the line from Considero. Kirchhoff plays it up, and Talisman finds the sweet spot on Considero. Very nice roll shot
down the line.
Not about power.
Smart volleyball.
Sometimes it's about placement over power, right?
100%. Yeah, we talked about that. The left side scoring ability. Volleyball is such a technical sport. Like, not everything needs to be an absolutely crushed ball, because guess what? That's how you get roofed. You know. But it's.
I've been there.
No, I'm saying as a coach, you know that, right? But
I'll say that from a player perspective. But yeah, absolutely. As we see Considero, wow, what a rejection and a replay by Montreal. Some good, tenacious effort here. Resilient rally once more, and there finds some fingers. So Western Mustangs, you see Ceylon with the flex, but that's well-deserved. And that's the Belgian import, Tristan, really playing with the heart on his sleeve here.
Yeah, he's into it right now. He wants to play. He wants to play tomorrow.
They are dialed right now, and a timeout will be dialed by the Montreal Carabins. They'll use their first one here, and we'll get a chance to use this opportunity to give you some updates here on our broadcast.
CBC Sports is the home of university sports in Canada. Catch the gold medal game of the 2026 U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship presented by Booster Juice. Sunday night here at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on CBC Gem on cbcsports.ca. U Sports on CBC. Chase the glory.
And the Western Mustangs are chasing glory in this set so far. That's for sure, up by 3, but maybe too much glory from the service line. We talked about Tristan just again. What do you think needs to be done here? I mean, in terms of these missed serves, you miss a couple back-to-back. You as a coach, put your coaching hat on here. Like, what needs to be done amongst the rest of them to ensure that this does not become a problem for them to lose the lead?
Well, I think if I'm Western's coaching staff right now, I'm looking at the fact that, we have 4 service errors this set, and we still lead by 3. You think about what that could be without those missed errors. Maybe it leads to a substitution further down the line. You can't afford those missed serves in a game that you want to advance in. Use those guys on the bench, who are great defensively and can put a ball over the net, because you need that. Whether it's just a ball in play, it beats a point into the net, right?
Absolutely. And you know what? Again, you made mention of this off the air earlier. Like, they are playing with house money. They've earned the right to be here in this tournament because the Windsor Lancers and Queens Gales also were able to qualify by their own strength, as there's some strength on that block there. But just to finish my thought, basically, like, the fact that they were able to get over Nipissing in that bronze medal game and qualify for a second consecutive year for nationals, like, they want to play tomorrow because nobody thought the 8th seed, they're the only bronze medalists out of their conference here, mind you, right? You don't always have a bronze medal game, and it's certainly showing right now that they don't want this 5th set. They want a match tomorrow at 1 p.m., but you also see Consider with that one, with the ball alive. Kirchhoff, good job in position 5, great defense. And a nice rip there. Just a little too far away for Alexandre Saint-Denis. The liberos have been wonderful.
Good for Saint-Denis, though. He went for that ball, and man, is he showing a lot of heart tonight. Both sides are playing really good volleyball, especially here in this set. The Carabins, they're within 3 still, so this game's not away by any means.
Agreed, as Cade Smith makes that serve, Saint-Denis to Saint-Denis, and a pipe run there that does find the fingers of Smith. That'll take him off the line there. Just a good run by the 30 pipe lane. Very nice.
No, it was a smart choice, and I love that Saint-Denis is starting to use a little bit more of everybody on the court the more as this game goes on, because they realize, Consolation can only take so many swings, and it's scoring. So they find themselves down by just 2 now. And they got a chance to use that offensive diversity as the game goes forward.
As we see Etienne Charbonneau check in for Lucas Chenier, he will serve. Charbonneau, Montreal native, makes the serve. Meantime, C-ball set. Nice dig there to play it and keep it alive. Charbonneau getting that dig. And this one does go a little bit through the fingers of Kirchhoff. Not enough paw on that one.
Another kill for Considère.
Kill number 25 on his 50th attack, Tristan. Isn't that wild? I mean,
that's insane.
My arm would be tired. I got to be honest. As I'm sure, again, he's conditioned for these big moments now and rising to the occasion. And we'll see if Charbonneau can rise to the occasion here as he tosses up a high one here, played up by Talisman back behind. Rather, that was Toombs. As we'll see on the outside, triple block replayed. Good work here by the Carabins. Saint-Denis outside, tipped into the block and out.
Gets it out.
Vincent Tremblay using that tool there, Tristan.
Tie game, and it's because of smart volleyball. I think Montreal's kind of realized at this point we're not going to beat them with sheer power, and taking a bit of the Mustangs game to them. We got a tie game, and it's a close volleyball game.
Fight to 10 at least here, as we'll see if this one will end at 25. And oh my goodness,
wow,
uncontested service ace. Charbonneau, who had a school record, Tristan, of 31 kills versus the University of New Brunswick Reds back on February 14th. So he had a lovely Valentine's Day, no doubt, as a timeout is used by Jim Sage and the Western Mustangs to try and slow things down. Oh my goodness, we're just heating up here, aren't we? As Montreal finding a way to shift some momentum back on their side of the court. We talk about, again, how the pendulum can shift.
Yeah.
And
well, Chavano has been that guy. He comes in and he just gets an ace going into a timeout. There's no better feeling than having another team call a timeout when you're serving.
Clutch.
Because you're in their head. You are in their head. You're in the coaching staff's head. Because they're thinking about, we got to try and freeze this guy, and you're in the player's head.
Absolutely.
Because you're at this line, and you've already proven once that I can beat you guys without you even touching it. So
it's a good take on it, my friend. As Montreal will look to continue to stay the course through all this. I mean, they are down right now, 2-1 in the contest, looking to trigger that 5th and final deciding set. Again, they're the only team in the tournament with the Windsor Lancers, respectively, to be able to endure that. But we talk about it, right? It's just such a physically taxing and demanding game as is to play at a high-performance level. And these guys, again, they have the best training staff that they can provide from their school and the coaching. And again, you got to be made for moments like this. And we talk about the impressiveness of Hugo Considère's game here of, again, 50 total attack attempts. And then you got Coulet with 29, and then a couple of other guys in double digits. I mean, just again, like, these are the moments that the games you're prepping for all year in the off season to be on the big stage. As we're back underway here in Windsor, here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. Andrew Papadopoulos, Tristan McGuire on the call here. And
smart choice.
A smart choice is made. The Western Mustangs are on the ball there.
Yeah, they go back to Smith down that right side. He's been great out of the C ball swing. Back row right side works. And now you got Talsma going back to the line. He did miss his last one, but he does have a good jump floater. One of the best in this tournament. He wants to try and put his club up by more than one.
Float serve incoming. Good work by the Grimsby native as this one goes back behind. Considère with another kill. Kill number 26.
As he approaches 30. What an absolutely brilliant talent we're watching unfold before us. I can't say enough about Hugo Considère. You talk about how left-handed hitters, sometimes they get easier to read than other swingers, but not at all with him. His cross courts have been brilliant all night.
Yeah, definitely an exception to the rule here, as we'll see a big swing. Nice serve there by Maxime Saint-Denis. And Tristan, that is why perhaps he is the U Sports first team All-Canadian and RSEQ MVP. What a nice ace by the center there.
Yeah. He's an interesting setter. He's not built like most setters you see. A little bit shorter, but man, does he ever move around that court well, and he's dangerous from the service line.
Absolutely.
Something that not many setters are, but we see him get an ace there.
Absolutely, as he gets another one, this time to Kirchhoff, and this is a good pipe run.
Off the chest.
Talsma off the chest, so it's chest day again for a Montreal Carabin, and we'll see a sub incoming. Looks like it's going to be Troy.
That's what I'm talking about, those missed serves, right? You got to get a guy.
Serving specialist.
Silon, he missed his last couple, so they put in
first-year Oakville, Ontario native Troy DeCuna. So DeCuna with an opportunity now from the line, and this is one that you've been put in for your club. You got to make it. No pressure, kid, as he makes the first one, and we see Saint-Denis go to Saint-Denis, and a tip from Coulet in the right spot, and that was just very nice by the French import there, Tristan.
Yeah, Coulet, sees the open spot in the honey pot, right? Just put it right in there. That's kind of a good volleyball play, but at the same time, if you're defensively on this side, you want to have one guy who can at least pinch in a little bit in case that situation happens.
Absolutely. Got to hold your tees, as they say.
Yep.
As this one will be a heavy rip out of bounds. So in the direction of the Detroit River, as the Western Mustangs will take that to go. We see Jones head back. I think this guy should be in contention for the Mikasa player of the game for the Western Mustangs. He's certainly having himself a night, making his team better. 51 assists, Tristan. That is a heck of a lot of assists.
There's no offense without a good setter.
You got it, man. As we see that serve made, and there's some defense. You also need defense as a setter, and he proves that why that matters there, as we see Toombs send that over. And on the other side, Saint-Denis had to take the dig. There's Kirchhoff on a dig. Jones on a good run with Homnick, rejected, replayed. And we'll see a swing on the right side, rejected. So Smith, and a 10 out of 10 barrel roll for Talsma.
The ball disappeared up into the stands. But yeah, good for Talsma hustling to get that ball. But now it's the 2-point lead for the Carabins.
Just like that. The Carabins are 5 away from triggering set number 5 for a second consecutive outing for them here in this building on this court as Garney gets the opportunity to serve, makes that count, and we'll see the Mustangs misfire one long, and the Carabins hold a 3-point cushion, and that's going to cause a timeout to be called by the Western Mustangs to try and slow things down.
I think that's a great call. You know, you're down by 3, they're in 20. Maybe you call one even before that happens, but at this point in the game, you want to end it. You don't want to go to a 5th set, right? And like you said, Montreal, they've been in a 5th set. They lost one. They don't want to lose another one, right? That'd just be gut-wrenching. So if you're Western, you want to try and come out of this time and claim it. Fans, U Sports wants to hear from you about your viewing experience. Visit usportsfans.ca to join our fan advisory panel. Tell us about yourself and help shape future U Sports Championship broadcasts by giving us your feedback for your chance to win a U Sports prize or prizes. Join the U Sports fan panel at usportsfans.ca.
And once again, we see another great contest here, and we still got more volleyball to come this afternoon and evening. Actually, it'll be the evening time when the second session wave comes in. 6 p.m. is when the championship Final Four action begins here, with the University of Manitoba Bisons taking on the University of British Columbia Thunderbirds in a rematch, Tristan, of what was an upset in the Can West semifinals. My, oh my, that's going to be a real barn burner for those two squads from out west, and we look forward to welcoming folks tuning in from the West Coast here on CBC Sports and CBC Jam. You'll have the pleasure of calling that with UBC Okanagan head coach at the helm, Scott Koski. So that'll be wonderful. And then tonight, Trinity Western Spartans versus the host University of Windsor Lancers, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'll be back on the call with that one. So we'll hope you'll tune in then as we're back underway here. Consolation semifinal number 2 and a net violation committed by the Mustangs.
Yeah, too tight of a set there for Smith. He tried to turn and wipe it off the hands, but catches a piece of it with the bottom of his wrist. So 22-18 now in favor of the Carabins. They have pulled away here.
And we'll see a substitution made by Western. They're going to bring back Cameron McGregor into the contest, the Etobicoke native from the Toronto area, hoping to find an answer to the Tunisian import, Zagarny, who makes that serve again. Played up by the Mustangs. Back behind. There's a heavy swing. Right place, right time to send it over. Jones going to go for a pipe with Telstar. And it works right in the 5-6 seam. Gorgeous delivery there, Tristan.
Yeah, that was led perfectly. Beautiful set from Jones to Talsma, the connection. And Talsma puts that ball out of the, just crushed it.
And we'll see Lukas Stojanovic check back in to do his job as serve and defend specialist. Again, we talk about the importance of needing them, especially when you're down here, as they look to claw back into this after holding a lead. High toss, spin serve incoming. It's right into the net. So sometimes, Tristan, I worry when I see a very high toss because you got to be able to get that timing on it at the right spot. And oh boy. Tough break there as a double sub is going to be incoming. They undo the McGregor sub and the Stojanovic sub. So returning to the action, Hominick, and number 9, that would be Toombs. So Coach Sage is trying to shuffle the cards here and find a way. I'm sure he knows that the momentum is on the Montreal side at the moment because of that guy serving with the blue hair. Look at that. That ball almost came up here into the crow's nest, Tristan. What a service ace.
Yeah, brilliant serve, and I think right now it's Western's fighting it a bit. You see Talisman there, the reaction. He pulled that one a little bit, didn't get behind the ball all that he wanted to, and now it's possible set point to push for a 5th.
Set point indeed.
Good
he
pass.
has 4 service aces, won't get one there, consider, and Talsma will get his kill there. That's his 10th, so there's 4 Mustangs now, Tristan, with double-digit kills.
Perfect, and that starts with, you mentioned Jones. He drives the offense. I can't speak enough about this guy, and he himself even gets a couple of kills on this match. On the match in total with the dumps.
Yep, 54 assists generating the offense here. So set point number 2 for Montreal. Looking to trigger a 5th and final deciding set as they tip that over. Jones digs it up, 2-ball. There's the fake out as a good set there. Toombs to Talsma, rejected, replayed. Talsma again gets another crack at it. Very nice off the fingers to replay it. St. Denis going to dish it outside, tipped over, and Ceylon gets a hand on it. Had to be played outside. There's one that gets it off the hands. That sends Montreal on a chase. And it's a tough ball. It's still good, though.
Still alive. That was
off the net. It's legal as we see a nice swing to keep the Mustangs running.
Toombs. Nice swing out of the back row. That pipe, when in doubt, Jones has been able to go to it, and it's been there to complete the play for him. So Western still with some life here in set number 4.
Yeah, definitely, galloping on here in this set. 21-24, set point number 3 now. And that's Homnick making the serve. St. Denis back behind it.
There you go.
The problem for the Mustangs defense today, that has been Hugo Considere, his 27th kill to trigger a 5th and final deciding set, 25-21 in dramatic fashion. Just a snipe there, Tristan.
Yeah, nice swing.
As we will head to a 5th and final deciding set. Best 3 out of 5 here, folks. And we look forward to seeing the fight to 15 finish coming up here from the University of Windsor's campus, the Toldo Lancer Centre. You are watching the 2026 BioSteel U Sports Men Volleyball Championships from Windsor here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. Stick around.
We'll be back.
We got some fantastic U Sports volleyballs, but only for the loudest fans. Make some noise if you want a U Sports Lancer volleyball.
Thirsty? With 5 essential electrolytes and 0 sugar, BioSteel is the game changer you've been looking for. All of the good stuff with no extras and no gimmicks, just clean, healthy hydration. Trusted by pro athletes since 2009. Steel sharpens steel.
It's not just about the victory. It's about the moments leading up to it. BioSteel, the fuel behind every victory.
Territoire du Nord-Ouest, le berceau du hockey. On y trouve une communauté riche en histoire et en tradition que Quaker voulait surprendre avec une toute nouvelle cantine déjeuner Quaker dans son aréna. En plus d'offrir notre avoine canadienne à grains entiers, la cantine est maintenant l'endroit pour se rassembler, manger et célébrer. Nous sommes fiers d'alimenter la passion du hockey dans son village d'origine, parce que peu importe d'où tu viens, t'es capable.
Le sport en direct sur icitout.tv. 100% énergie. 100% gratuit. Votre meilleur plan de match pour voir des performances exceptionnelles sur l'appareil de votre choix. C'est icitout.tv.
Hey U Sports fans, check out shop.usports.ca for this week's promotional item from the Nike Team Collection. Visitez le shop.usport.ca pour en profiter de la promotion de la semaine de la collection Nike Team.
Welcome back to Windsor volleyball fans inside the Toldo Lancer Centre. Buckle up as we're about to get underway for a 5th set finale here in what is the consolation semifinal, game number 2. The winner gets to meet up with Laval tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Ange Papadopoulos and Tristan McGuire on the call here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. We're so glad to have you along for the ride here to find out what happens next. One of these teams, Tristan, will be eliminated from the tournament here. Both, though, deserve nothing but praise. I mean, to get to this point, Montreal finding a way to tie things up at 2 sets apiece in what is a fight to 15. They will switch sides at 8, and we'll see Montreal earn the right to serve first here. This is Ghassan Zagarni out of Kalibia, Tunisia. So, international talent here. And again, Hugo Considere a domestic talent, as he has the Gatineau, Quebec native, put on a show. 4 service aces and 27 kills. My goodness, 32 points. I feel like he's leading the way in the tournament right now in points based on the fact that now they're going to be playing their 10th set here. But we'll see as we're underway, as that serves good. Definitely leading the charge in a single outing so far, I would say, in all the matches played. As we see now, the Montréal Carabins lose the first point to the Mustangs. They were thinking it was in, but we see the Mustangs hatch the goose egg early.
Every point here matters twice as much. You know, you shave that down by 10 points each side. It's a drag race to 15. who can take it. We'll see. They get the rotation they want here on the Mustang side.
Serves will definitely matter more now as that serve's placed in by Jones, and a nice peg by Consider off of Kirchhoff and out. So 28 kills for that guy with the blue hair as he heads back for what I like to call volleyball in one.
He's just brilliant on right side. And for some reason, the blockers are, just finding themselves in a mismatch where he can get on top of the ball, no problem, and swing through that block.
And that's a powerful serve delivered right to position one. Good job by the Mustangs to stay behind it and play it up. But this time around, they can't get one up as the block is strong with Genier getting the last touch on it.
Yeah, just a little bit too tight there. He didn't have much room to operate. Tries to tip around that block, but they were all over it.
Might have been St. Denis, actually, their correction. So the MVP finding a way to press setter on that one. Very nice job by the setter, Maxime St. Denis. But there's one of those missed serves that matters. So that's his third service error. High-risk, high-reward server, though. 4 aces to 3 errors ratio.
Yeah, and that's, that's an acceptable ratio, right? It's when you start seeing the guys who have all these errors and it's floaters or stuff that goes into the net. But let's see if Western can keep these float serves going the way they want them to.
There's one there by Talisman delivered nicely, and they play it up with Jones on a hook dig that was not exactly inside the court, so quick effort there by the scorer's table, but just a tough break.
Yeah, this game's already off to a fast start. Both teams exchanging points back and forth. 3-2 lead for the Carabins. We'll see if they can make that push to 8-4. It's the switching of sides.
Coulee, 20 kills last night. Gets that serve, 10 so far here in this contest. Meantime, rejection by Genier this time. I'm positive, based on that celly there, Tristan, he got all of that.
Yeah, Toombs just out of the left side. He's struggling right now to get around that block. It's he's giving up a lot of height here, and it's costing, unfortunately, the Mustangs in this rotation. This is something they want to get out of, see what other options they can use.
Carabins misfire on that one, which gives Western some hope. And again, we talk about those missed serves, especially with less points needed to win here.
Yeah, and it has more implications just the points, right? You just put a team out of their worst rotational position, and now they have a chance to score, and they have a better man behind the line to score it, right? It's all these little things that come back to that missed serve.
Absolutely, as this time around it finds the shaded court inside, and they play it, and this will be Jones off the dig there from Talisman. Free ball sent over into a block, so Cade Smith tried to go over, but he goes into it, and
the
that's just a
right
tough
now are
break.
all over those, those tips, those rolls. It's not going to fly in this fifth set, and they're proving it on the scoreboard right now as they take the 5-3 lead.
Yep, guarding the net very well here with another nice block and a great read, as now we'll see Lucas Genier, Ottawa native, back to serve, and Nation's capital native makes his serve. Meantime, Toombs back behind Jones elects to go, and this will be a tool. So just, again, you mentioned, don't go soft in the block, go a little harder. Yep. There's some heavy horsepower from Cade Smith.
Yeah, that's what you got to do, swing through, and I like to see that from Smith. He was a little bit timid on the last two plays. He was blocked after a tip into the block. Not there. Swung through the ball, off the hands of the blockers, back to serve.
And Smith, who had 5 service errors, makes that one. Kirchhoff plays it up. Jones outside tip. Toombs in a good spot. Played up though by the Carabin. Outside on left side. That's the go-to set for them when they need him. And that looks to be Tremblay scoring on that one.
Yeah, Tremblay, he comes in that second set and he's been really good ever since. I got to give him credit. He's proven himself worthy on the left side. And those outside sets have been perfectly set right to the antenna so he can turn to that ball, get it off the hands and out of bounds.
And Tremblay, a first-year player, playing like a veteran here in his first U Sports Nationals appearance, so wonderful to see. There's a veteran that's done this before with that pipe attack kill. Jaden Talisman, ladies and gentlemen.
Talisman and pipe go together like peanut butter and jelly, and he's proven it there, sends it to the one spot on the court. Beautiful swing.
Absolutely executed flawlessly there, as now we'll see a spin incoming. It's into the net, though, so 1 point shy of the side switch, Tristan. We've seen quite a few misses here so far.
It's not what you want to see, especially at this caliber of volleyball. Every single point matters. I can't reiterate it enough. I know we talk about it all game long, but there's a reason that they stack up, and now you're in a race to 15.
Yes, absolutely. Could not be emphasized enough, as now we see another pipe that gets rejected. So just a gorgeous block there and a great read by Zagarny as they're going to switch sides here. This is not a timeout. They just have to return to the same rotation positions on the other side. We'll see both sides sorry, both teams switch sides here and looking to regroup on their new side. And Tristan, what do you think here? Do you think Western's going to be on the winning side, have as much success as Montreal did on that one?
Well, right now, the wind is a little bit out of their sails, but I think all it takes is one big hit or a big point, right? It can turn around. Talisman, the energy you brought earlier with that, next point mentality, don't worry about what's already happened. It can't be changed. So now, just look at it this way. What you have to do, you got to outscore the opposing side 10-7. Can they do it? I think they can.
Yep, absolutely. As we'll see a substitution incoming here. It'll be Cameron McGregor in for the Mustangs to play a little bit of a defensive role for them.
Yeah, so McGregor's first touch to the court all game.
No, he's been out there a couple of times, so it's all good. For this set it is, though. So, yeah, he's been a veteran that they've gone to at times, 4th year, but was a starter at one point. Perhaps that might have been in the semifinals of the OUA, but nonetheless, we'll see the other number 4 Tremblay serve. A strong one by the kid, the service ace. First-year player with a monster vet service ace, pegging it off of Kirchhoff. Timeout, Western Mustangs, and oh my, look at that. Just, unfortunately, the libero wasn't really stopped behind it. He went into it, and Tristan, you got to get stopped if you're going to get a serve with that much horsepower.
Yeah, you got to, every coach tells you that. The lowest, the club level, the high school, you got to have yourself planted, right? There, it was unfortunately the wrong place. Ball goes off the hands and out the back. There's no control as soon as you bring those hands back. So credit to Tremblay. He's hitting those seams well and forcing those tough passes. And now he's giving his team a 9-5 lead, which in a set to 15 is pretty commanding.
I'm sure Montreal would love nothing more than to meet Laval tomorrow afternoon in a rematch of the RSEQ finals that they would love to be able to have again. These guys were the runner-up silver medalists. They would love to maybe get some revenge and a game for bragging rights of the Consolation Championship. Again, eliminating a team probably would be something special. So the Queens Gales are out because of Laval, OUA representative and champion. They are no longer active in this tournament, and now the Mustangs, the OUA bronze medalists, hoping to not suffer the same fate as they're going to return from their first time out call. There's 1 remaining in the bank, 2 for the Carabins. 9-5 lead here from Windsor, Ontario on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. Tristan McGuire and Andrew Papadopoulos on the call here inside the Toldo Lancer Centre as both teams return to the floor for the action here. Consolation semifinal number 2 with one more game on the line for both sides tomorrow afternoon as Kirchhoff, the London native, regroups there on that one following the timeout, but Zagarny once again.
Yeah, he's there.
He's there.
Look at this replay here. Zagarny, he never even moves. He read it the whole way. You can see he not pull off the net. He knows that Jones, when he gets pulled off there towards that attack line, he's been known to go to the middle, and he was correct.
10-5, Carabins, 5 away from taking this one in 5 in a good comeback effort after suffering a heartbreaking 3-2 reverse sweep loss to the host Windsor Lancers last night in this building, less than 24 hours ago. Big swing by the Carabins. It's going to trigger a substitution. Welcoming back to the contest number 18, Troy DeCuna. He returns, so another first-year player. Coach Sage is trying to give some experience. As apologies for that, I believe I said Montreal.
Smith got it off the block.
Gotcha. Yeah. Apologies for that. So that makes sense as to DeCuna being the serve and defense specialist, being sub back in. So they're back within 4.
That's a good spot.
That serve to position 1, number 4. Tremblay played it, leading to Coulee with another beautiful snipe there, Tristan.
Coulee, and he's been underused this whole game. But there he proved why yesterday. How many kills was it you said he had?
20 kills on the dot. Now his teammate Considere today with 28, and Coulee second to him with 12. So impressive. Impressive outside
Brilliant
swings.
Offensive output.
This guy's been impressive too. Number 6, Gaston Zagani. He's come in and provided some stable serving. We'll see if he can do it here as he's able to get one there. Cameron McGregor plays it up for Jones. Back behind Smith off some fingers. Forced to play it there. Zagani. Good defense. Over to Considere, and that is a tip off the block. So Kirchhoff to Jones. Outside to Talsma. Replayed here by St. Denis. Zagarny outside for Considere, and why not add another one as he's 1 shy of 30 now, Tristan. 29 kills for the right side. Timeout, Western.
That's,
What
no words as he just leans into it once again. And I feel for the defense of Western. They had all backed off, played a little bit deeper in the court, but he goes right down the seam between the defenders.
And of course, we know right now the U Sports Women's Volleyball Championship is happening in Langley, BC at Trinity Western University's campus. You can catch that as CBC Sports is the home of the streaming for that, of University Sports in Canada, of course. The gold medal game, catch that tomorrow as it's presented by Booster Juice. Sunday night here at 9 p.m. Eastern on CBC Gem and CBCSports.ca. CBC Sports and U Sports chase the glory. As, again, we appreciate you tuning in to watch the Men's Volleyball Championships taking place here in Canada's southernmost city. Tristan McGuire and I, Andrew Papadopoulos, having the privilege of calling this for you here this afternoon, and then we'll be back on the call later for the final 4 semifinals. Before we wrap up this one, Tristan, any exciting insights you have going into this Final 4 championship that we're going to see coming up? Can West teams, 3 of them, and the host Windsor Lancers, perhaps, if this one goes the way we're thinking, might be the lone remaining OUA seed remaining.
Well, we'll see what the Lancers can do against the vaunted Trinity Western Spartans.
That's, I think, all that needs to be said. We shall see. As we're back underway, Western down by double. And it looks like, again, the Montreal Carabins want to play Laval.
Yeah, they figured out, maybe this is something that was calculated, you know, to just let's hang around and let's conserve our energy. And if we hang around enough, maybe we can win a 5th set. Well, now all of a sudden their blockers seem to be all over the offense of the Mustangs.
Absolutely. As, again, correction, Laval Rouge et Or will take on the winner of this one here, as they have found a way here in Montreal to stay consistent. And there's a consistent block by Considier. And look at that energy, Tristan. It is match point. The entire bench with so much passion.
Yeah.
Gorgeous
nice block
read
there. And it's the big man himself. Number 2, Lucas Genier. Amazing blocking as we hear the Olays.
Love it. Love the energy as we see Zagarny with the serve. Talisman. And there's a jump by Jones. He's not done yet, folks. As we've alluded to, he can be crafty on that jump there, Tristan.
Brilliant work by Mike Jones as he'll take back to the service line now. He did an awesome job on that play. He knows he's front row. He goes, yeah, we're not done.
58 assists, and again has gotten 3 kills here. Been very productive this afternoon for them. Off the tape, played up Saint Denis, and a force there, Saint Denis, and that is off the block and out. Montreal Carabins.
Wow.
Mission accomplished. They will play again tomorrow against their rivals from Quebec, and you see how fired up they are. Again, Tristan, last night suffering the heartbreak on this floor less than 24 hours ago. They played the most sets in the tournament with the Windsor Lancers, and they're able to get a gritty win here over the Western Mustangs. So any thoughts before we hear the Mikasa player of the game here for both sides, and any predictions?
Well, a huge win for Montreal. They get to advance in an all-Quebecois final.
Très bien.
Oui, très bien. And I think that both these teams deserve to be where they are right now for the right reasons. Credit to the Western Mustangs. They gave it a wonderful fight. They got matched up in seeding with the best team in the nation, arguably. And here they go against, another team that maybe wasn't expected to be bumped out so early, who's going to go to the consolation final now and maybe win a consolation final. So great battle between these two, and I'm glad it went all the way to 5 sets. Predictions? Well, I guess it's too late, but who we had mentioned earlier in the match.
Hominick had an impressive game, that's for sure. Well-deserved for him, the middle. 14 kills for the middle out of Surrey, BC.
And I wonder who else might win it here for the Carabins, eh? No question.
It's going to be a hard one. It's going to be a hard one.
Hugo Considère.
Let's see if they agree with us. Oh, so this is a bit of a surprise. So
is there something else I don't know?
Well, Charbonneau had an impressive game.
He came in for the ace. Yep. I know that.
Off the bench, he was a very good role player for them.
Interesting.
So you love to see the Montreal staff wanting to share the love.
It's the coaches who pick it, correct?
Believe so. Yeah. Yes, that's what I was informed, and you can see that based on the reaction.
Yeah. Final year player.
Absolutely. Well, a second-year player. So just again,
so they just go with him for the clutch serve that he win.
Perhaps the heart down on the court that we could not hear from up here in the Croesus. But again, honorable mention to 2 guys from us up here in the broadcast booth. Hugo Considère, 29 kills, impressive outing on 57 total attacks, 4 service aces for Montreal to help lead them to an all-Quebecois final. And of course, Mike Jones on the other side, impressive outing for the setter from Western as well. So a great tournament for the Western Mustangs, despite the disappointing results. They end their tournament here for the 2026 U Sports National Championships in Windsor. So one OUA team remains, Tristan. The Windsor Lancers, they're up at 8 p.m. against the arguably number 1 seeded ranked team in the nation, the Trinity Western Spartans. It'll be a tall order, but a raucous crowd, and we look forward to having that later on this evening. But before that, we will be back at 6 p.m. You'll be back on the call with Scott Koski for the first Final Four semifinal championship showdown between the Manitoba Bisons and the UBC Thunderbirds. So again, you see a lot of great positive reaction by the Carabins. They get to live for another day, and this has been a remarkable tournament to cover, and we're just midway through it. So that concludes the consolation semifinals. Again, tomorrow, 1 p.m. here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. You can catch the action Laval, Rouge et Or, up against the Montreal Carabins. So this is the final score, Montreal 3, Western 2. And on behalf of our wonderful crew here associated with the University of Windsor, U Sports, everybody all together here putting it in this weekend, CBC Sports, CBC Gem, and on behalf of the wonderful Tristan McGuire, my name is Andrew Papadopoulos, signing off for now. We'll be back at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the next broadcast. So thank you, everyone. You've been watching the 2026 U Sports BioSteel Men's Volleyball Championships here on CBC Sports and CBC Gem. So long from Windsor.